That's the thing to do.
Oh,
Boop.
this is good stuff.
I just sort of actually I kind of like
What
the
is
irony.
happening?
When I finally get to play a game, and the one time I get to play, I show up wearing an official shirt.
Oh.
It's
So
okay.
you can't really see it. See.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Hello,
go. Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
Is it like Little League?
Right. I can
Today
hear
was
the-
high school JV.
High school JV? Okay.
All right. And we're back with Pacific Northwest Veers. Back in the waking world, our intrepid investigators have awoken from their Dreamlands experience. Jimenez actually woke in the night, early
Some
morning
slightly
hours.
earlier than others.
Yes, almost experiencing a heart attack and dying, which would have been tragic. And then he went to bed in one of the guest rooms that Graves, Mr. Daniel Graves, Mr. Hazard's man, had taken you to, and whereupon Graves went back to keep an eye on the other two, make sure they were kept safe through the night, blah, blah, blah. So, Hutton awoke that morning.
We'll say the other two, just Hutton is the only other one.
Hutton awoke that morning. Hazard is gone from the room, Hutton. He was there when you awoke, Jimenez, by the way, in the early morning hours. Hazard was still there sleeping, but Hutton, when you wake up, you're alone.
Oh.
In the room, the living room, which you recognize as the same room that you talked to the Wizard Wilkes in, which is a little unnerving. Mr. Graves is there. And you can smell food. You can smell eggs, bacon, bread or biscuits or something like that. And Graves says he will take you to the dining room, which is down the hallway and then towards the back of the house a little ways and then off to the left. And you find Jimenez is already in there. And on the table there are scrambled eggs, hash browns, bacon, sausage, toast, pitchers of buttermilk and water. There's some apple cider. There are place settings for both of you. Actually, there are place settings all around this dining room table. Everything is very fine, very expensive china. The table has been refurbished. The entire room has been refurbished from its haunted house status of a few months before. And you can sit down to breakfast with Jimenez, who he's already dug in. Not knowing how late your compatriots would sleep, only knowing that you found out from Graves that Hazard had awoken at some point after you did. So, there you are. There you go. And
Good morning, Jimenez.
ah, yes, the stutter has returned.
Can't hear
Wait,
you.
are you muted, Aaron?
I guess I was.
Yes, go ahead.
I said, so I guess you didn't hear what I.
No.
Did you find the wizard?
Yes. We found the wizard.
And
he wants to come back to the waking world.
can he even do that?
Apparently, he was buried with a spell that if I cast it, he can come back through, or if it is cast.
Make me intelligence check there, Hutton. I don't think Jimenez has been up on the current events of that as much.
Yeah, he's not.
Let me open the character sheet. I didn't do that.
Oh, for the love of God.
I know.
I know exactly what was the last thing that Jimenez remembers from the waking world.
Oh, what is that? While Sean opens. Oh, you mean from the Dreamlands?
From the dreaming.
Okay,
from the dreaming world.
yeah.
That's what
You
I
remember
meant.
that.
The last thing he remembered from the dreaming.
Being stabbed,
world,
and then everything went black, and he woke up. And it felt
wasn't
like
he?
he was stabbed.
Wasn't he?
He was
I thought
run
he was
through
shot
with a
with a
sword.
crossbow.
No, he was run through with a sword. Because then you did the same thing. Okay, keep going then, Hutton. Sorry to interrupt.
So that's
So yes. So are you going to do this?
I, I, I honestly do not have any intention to do it. But I also want to remove the possibility of him being able to do it at all.
And how would you do that?
Well, the simple thing is he seems to haunt, for lack of a better word, the upstairs of the current newspaper.
Oh, was that why you were having all those dreams to begin with? Then he was haunting you.
Essentially, yes.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't bring him back just for that reason alone.
Well, I prefer to not bring him back because he supported the South, and you know.
Well,
and
I don't know if Fernando has opinions on that or not.
Well,
And the
slavery
other
was
issue-
abolished in Mexico a long time ago.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, a lot of slaves were a lot of the
I figured
southern
they were native
states.
people.
A lot of the southern states were trying to make Mexico pass laws to have their slaves returned when the ones that would flee across the border. And Mexico was just like, no, I don't think so.
And that's what the Texas Rangers originally were.
Oh, were they? They were slave. Yeah, a lot of cops were actually in the United States.
Yeah, they were slave. They were basically goalies for the slave industry.
Yeah, so
they're the last line of defense before you reach Mexico.
Yep. So I would say Fernando is probably doesn't much care for slavery, but he could be fine or he could be.
No, I mean
whatever.
I figure he's indifferent either.
That's
kind
fine.
of indifferent, but like it didn't affect him, so he didn't worry about it essentially at that time.
My other worry is that I'm worried that he will be able to use some of the magic that he has learned here, and I don't feel it's safe to let him be back.
From what I've seen of what people can do with magic, I would probably agree. Actually, no, I don't think you'd say that because Fernando didn't see Graves' arm get twisted into a knot, so that was Tex. So I'm going to
see
retract
that dude who lost all his bones in the Dreamlands?
Yes, Jimenez did.
Oh yeah,
Jimenez,
yeah.
I think, kept Hutton from seeing it. That was a little bit striking, and you do recall your memories from the Dreamlands.
Yeah.
Your memories from the Dreamlands are a little. I mean, you know it was a dream, but at the same time, you know it was real. So
much happened in so little time. It's hard for him to believe that that was like the Dreamlands was just a night.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be his biggest thing, wrapping his head around the Dreamlands, technically. But
okay. There's Josie. She has appeared.
Hey, sorry, I had a bunch of stuff
You're
to
okay.
get ready and stuff.
Go ahead, Hutton.
So it's. I'm hoping we can do something to, at the very least, keep people out of that room. But
well, you work for Mr. Cunningham. I'm sure.
I do.
I'm sure you could have some say in that.
Yes, in hopes I would like to. It's still so fresh. Maybe just move the newspaper as a whole and just let the building be empty.
It's never good for a town, though, to just leave a building empty.
It's not. But the other thing is,
But you did.
The spell should be on the Wizard Wilkes' body. That's what he had told me.
Yes.
Where's his body? Did he tell you that? Did he tell you where his body is?
I would assume it's buried here in town.
You both know there's a cemetery behind the Methodist Church.
Oh, okay.
And
keep that in mind. It's pretty obvious.
Could you go to the pastor of the church? Maybe he could, if
Yeah.
maybe he knows something. If this Wilkes truly haunts the newspaper, maybe the local pastor might know how to get rid of him.
Well, that's a possibility. Yeah. It's still.
But anyway.
it's a lot. It's a lot all of a sudden.
So what all happened after my untimely demise in the Dreamlands? The last thing I remember is being ran through. In where was that?
Zakarian. That was
Okay,
the last
Zakarian.
thing you remember. You would definitely remember that place. Sean, you don't
Yeah,
have
there
to
is,
summarize
Zakarian.
the
Yeah.
entire. You could
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
say, you could just info dump on Aaron if you want. He was
Yeah.
there for the
Yep.
whole thing, so.
Yeah. I'll
Right.
So you spend the rest of the morning regaling him with the tale of traveling to other towns and to that
Meeting this
thing,
crazy Captain
the
Cabo
Cabo,
Wabo.
Wabo Cabo, and
Wabo Cabo, yeah.
dealing with the thing in the graveyard, and finally finding the wizard, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it'll take probably, considering Loren Hutton is a storyteller of sorts, it will take several hours.
Yeah.
So
And
you're
it's
probably munching on leftover breakfast while you eat. Graves or another servant shows up with more apple cider or buttermilk water. It's all cool. All the liquids are very cool. They're probably kept in a cellar somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's how you spend your morning. Alonzo,
Was-
go ahead,
Mhm.
Sean.
I was just gonna ask if to
Fernando.
was
yeah.
Mr. Hazard already awake when you woke?
No, he was asleep, but he was gone after I woke up this morning.
Oh, you peeked in on them in the living room, Fernando.
Oh, I don't know. I
Or
guess
did you,
I don't know.
Well,
I
it's
don't
up
know.
to you. Did you peek in on them, or did you come down, smell breakfast, and go straight for the dining room, figuring the others would wake up eventually? It's up to you.
No, he probably went straight for the food. Then.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Like,
So you haven't
Am
seen
I?
Hazard since. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was asleep when you woke up last night, but it was still
Okay.
dark. It was like 3 in the morning when you woke up.
Yeah.
And then you went upstairs. Graves found your room, got you set up in there, and you boom crashed and just had normal dreams after that.
you know how those men of leisure are. They wake up when they like to. I left him alone.
Okay. He's
I
missing
figured-
for so long in our dreams.
Yes, I haven't had a chance to talk to him to see what happened, but
Okay, so
Munch,
Alonzo
munch, munch,
Shaeder, you are stationed at Fort Townsend,
Okay.
which is has only a small complement of soldiers. It actually does not sit in Seattle, but it's across the bay. The fort is currently under the command of Captain E.A. Bancroft is in command. This fort's got kind of a bad reputation. Back in the 50s, there were bad. It had the soldiers were not very professional. It had a very bad reputation, and then eventually there was like they were sent away in 59. Or no, 61. They were all withdrawn to San Juan. Well, 59 they went to San Juan Island, and then all the regular troops were withdrawn in 1861 during the Civil War. Troops were not brought back until 1876, just last year. The buildings had to be repaired and all that stuff. You were probably part of the group that came in for this.
Okay.
And right now there's a small contingent there. It's not real large. There is some rumors that most of the men are going to be removed once again due to the Nez Perce War, as Chief Joseph and his people are fighting right now in the West. but that's all just rumor as far as you're concerned. What is your rank? You're an army officer, correct?
Yeah, Lieutenant.
You're a lieutenant. Okay, so you have your own room. You have some privacy. Um,
This is where I was during that whole Dreamlands
yes,
thing.
yes. You wake up that next morning. You find that your uh, your hands are shaking with palsy again, and you're finding the same old that same old need that you've felt for a long time. Um, and you're late getting up. Somebody's banging on your door.
All right, I'll I'll go answer the door.
It is a corporal. He says, "Captain, the captain's ready. The men are out there on the field, sir. Uh, uh,
Slow down, slow down.
well, you gotta go right now. You're gonna get in trouble again.
Who's where and what's going on? Use words.
Reveille, reveille."
Okay, I'll be along presently.
He turns and runs away. You know this corporal. He's been kind of watching out for you since you've been here. Well, since your drug habit has kind of taken over a little bit, and he's been trying to protect you from the captain, as far as just shield you from getting into any kind of trouble.
Well,
Um,
good for him.
if that works for you and your history and your background.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll get dressed and make my way out
Okay.
at my own pace. I'm not in a hurry.
Captain Bancroft is there. He is inspecting the men. It looks like it was a surprise inspection. Bad timing there on your part, at least because of the Dreamlands and the strange drugs that you took last night that you had gotten, I believe, from San Francisco, or no, from some Chinese here in Seattle. He gives you a
No, those were
look.
from San Francisco.
It was from San Francisco. Okay. He gives you
Yeah.
a glance, but doesn't say anything. Um, there's just a general checking of the men. Most of them are coming up a little short. Buttons are mismatched. A couple guns aren't clean. That kind of thing. You know, Bancroft's a good commander, and he likes his men to be worthy of being in the U.S. Army, basically.
I'll
Uh,
stand aside then, basically, and let him do his thing.
yeah, yeah. That's all he does. And afterwards, yeah. And then the men are relieved to go to mess and to go to their duties. As are you.
Okay. What I'll do is then if the captain's got a moment,
Yes, he does. He would love
I'll
a
grab
moment,
him
actually.
and
Lieutenant?
I'll say good morning.
Good morning, Lieutenant.
So, I've heard they're gonna move more of the men out again.
It's a rumor. It's just a rumor at this juncture. The Nez Perce are several states away,
So,
but they are heading this direction.
so what do we do then?
I will stay in command here if I have to, or I'll follow orders.
No, I mean, do we have any orders regarding Nez Perce?
We do not. They're still fighting. I know some of the men have brought this up. I have not heard anything official.
Good. So, it's likely the fighting won't even reach this neighborhood.
Probably. They're far. They're quite a ways away, and they're small, and they're insignificant. You know his opinion on the natives is basically typical white officer, army officer
Yeah.
opinion of they'll do what we tell them or else.
Well, I'm gonna say nothing, although he's probably aware that I do not share that opinion. I
That's
do not
fine.
like fight. I don't like fighting people in their own home, in their own neighborhood.
You've had a discussion
Like,
many times with him.
like this is
It
this
has
is
maintained. It has been a civil discussion.
yeah.
You come from you do know your commanding officer here, the captain. He does respect you. You are his pretty much second in command right now here. Um, and there was a reason you were assigned it, and a lot happened to you during the Civil War and afterwards. But I believe your character did, um, he did a good job. He's been a good soldier, hasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I thought. So he respects you. He has talked to you a few times about certain drugs, but he has not pressed the issue and he has not brought it up in front of any of the men.
Oh, he's welcome to share if he likes.
Yeah.
Hmm. But mostly, I'm gonna, basically sort out the situation with him, see what, if anything, needs to be done,
hmm
and then probably how will we fix for artillery?
There's not much here. This is more of an infantry camp. It's also in an area that is not really in much danger at this juncture.
Yeah.
And this fort really hasn't seen much of any action.
Okay.
Um,
Well, then we shouldn't need that. So I will probably spend the rest of my day dealing with what the fort does need,
okay,
as most of my function involves things like that. So,
yeah.
how
He,
are we fixed for supplies, ammunition,
okay, so
food?
you're just going to be doing your job.
What? Yeah, but what I'm assuming is that. So they say that the fighting is not going to be near here. I
Probably not.
assume it is
Okay, yeah,
because
you can.
the one thing you can count on in any army analysis is it's wrong.
Right,
And
Nez Pierce are way over in like Montana right now. Right now.
nonetheless,
So,
I am going to think about in terms of suppose we actually needed to launch a actual campaign. In
yeah,
other words, I'm going to begin the process of making sure we have supplies. So when
okay,
the order comes to actually launch a campaign, the things we need will be here.
gotcha. Um, you guys have
Because
horses and that kind of stuff for
if
travel,
they're
not
not
for.
here, we're going to need them.
Okay, yeah. So you're
And if
doing
we,
your job. You're just going to do your job.
exactly.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the point is I'm a step ahead of the game in that regard.
yeah. You're also you keep the you've got these memories from the Dreamlands. You remember it as if it were real. You also know it was a dream. You know what I mean? It's a weird
Yeah.
kind of contradiction that it was real, but you know it wasn't. But you know it was, and you have all these memories. You traveled
I mean,
with Captain Wabo Cabo for a few months more, probably, and every night he was
I'm eager to
bitching
go back
about
when I can.
dreamers as you drank together or whatever, and then and by the end of the evening, of course, you were best of friends again and all that shit. Um, so he showed you basically a lot of other portions of the Dreamlands,
Okay.
more civilized portions as he went back to going to his smuggle. Oh, you did find out he's a smuggler, big time smuggler, like tons of
I
smuggling. That's what he does. At some
I
point, you
assume
found it out.
I assumed as much.
Is that okay, Aaron?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. At a certain point, after you've been traveling with him, he probably just decided he wasn't going to even try to hide it anymore because he didn't really care, and
Yeah.
didn't think there was
And
anything you can do about it. So
He wasn't gonna. Yeah, he wasn't gonna let it get in the way of doing business at
Yeah.
that point.
and,
At some point
Okay.
in time, it was
and why would
probably
I?
too much of a
And
hassle to him.
why would I care?
yeah, exactly. That was the whole impression that you gave him was, "What? I don't care," and he was like, "Perfect. That's
You're hiding
perfect."
this from me like I care. I do.
Okay,
I really do.
Miss Eldridge. Let's jump to you. Have you modified your character sheet with your stats from before going to the Dreamlands?
I don't know how to edit it right now. It doesn't want to let me edit. Otherwise, I would have.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
So I'm
Um,
not sure.
all right, so
Why
use the
that
character
is.
sheet that I sent you of the before Dreamlands character sheet for now, and then
Okay,
what we
yeah.
can
And
do
it was
is
just three things, I think: sanity, dreaming, and something else that
uh,
carried over.
sanity, dreaming, and I don't remember what off the top of my head. It should be written in one of the messages to you. Um, sanity, dreaming, and Cthulhu Mythos. If you have any points in
Oh, okay.
Cthulhu Mythos, you get to keep those. So those stay the
Okay.
same as your new sheet. And what I can do actually is I if you want to just send me those numbers at some point, I'll just put them in the pre-sheet and I'll call it something different and send it on to you. And then you should and then that'll pretty
Uh,
much make you accurate so you don't have to look at two different
yeah, I
sheets.
have sanity and dreaming, but I'm not sure what my Cthulhu mythos is supposed to be.
I don't know if it should be on the character sheet
Hopefully, I have it.
you were using before because I have
Oh, you know
no
what I just
idea.
realized?
Okay.
Huh?
Sorry to interrupt, but you know what I just realized?
Hmm. Oh,
As I was looking at the notifications, just pointed out Happy Confederate Surrender Day.
is that today?
Oh,
Good. Fuck
Yes,
those
it's
guys.
today.
And we should have hung a bunch of traitors.
nice.
That's my opinion
Yes,
on that.
indeed.
That's kind of fitting, actually, for this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. You guys are
little bit.
home.
I just realized what day it was.
So
Yay.
Isabella remembers um, some things from the Dreamlands. You remember bits and pieces like it was a dream, a fragmented, scattered dream. You remember, you do remember a few names. You remember Loren Hutton, Alonzo Shaeder, Fernando Jimenez, and Captain Wabo Cabo. And these were men that you were with. You do remember the name of a place called Saltmarsh that's supposed to be in Washington Territory somewhere. Um,
Hmm.
but maybe you made this all up. Maybe this was just a weird dream that you had. So when you
And
wake up,
Mr. Rascal, do I remember him at
yes,
all?
yes, you
Or
remember
no?
Mr. Rascal. Yeah,
I do. Cool.
but you don't remember anything. A lot of the specifics. It's more like you just remember it as a dream. And I don't remember if you know
And a
if you've
talking
had.
cat in general.
Yeah, I don't remember if you've had dreams where you you kind of remember impressions and feelings, but you don't remember exact details. It's like that. So you
Sure.
remember crocodiles or something in a river. Bits and pieces of stuff. And you wake up in your apartment in Seattle, in this noisy city that is still a frontier city, as opposed to anything else.
Hmm.
Certain unfinished paintings are sitting in your garret or your apartment, uh, and other finished ones as well. Um, what does Isabella in general want to do?
Um, I want to try to write down as much as I can,
Hmm.
just because I think she
You can
probably
do
does
that.
that. She has a dream
Yeah,
journal.
you get some details, you
Maybe
get some
even
names.
okay. Um, and then if I have nothing else important to do, I guess, depending on the day,
Hmm.
um, would probably just do a little bit of drawing, just some sketches of any visuals I remember.
Okay.
The cat, maybe some faces, just whatever kind of landscapes I remember.
Okay, yeah. Give me a
Um,
drawing check
oh, sure.
from that original character sheet.
Okay. Uh, 46. And I gotta go to my character sheet. Hang on.
You want to do the pre-Dream Worlds character sheet?
Yeah.
You say she might
Uh,
freeze for a second.
Yeah, she won't. That's okay.
I don't know if I'm freezing.
You're not yet. That's cool.
So far, so good.
A lot
It
of times.
looks like I have a 65
Okay,
in
yeah.
drawing.
All right. Yeah, you've
Oh,
drawn the men that you
Hopefully
met.
that's accurate.
You've drawn
So,
Jimenez. It looks like him. You've drawn Shader. You get the impression that Shader should be in Seattle. Why is that? You're not sure.
mhm.
You've drawn Hutton, and you've drawn Captain Wabo Cabo and Mr. Rascal. Those are the main people you interacted with in the Dreamlands. Um, Wabo Cabo looks like a pirate more than anything else, but then you recall he did. Like Caribbean, like a pirate from hundreds of years ago. The others look like knights or that kind of deal.
Hmm. Okay. Got it. Uh, all right. And then what else, what else do I have to do today? Like, what's my normal daily
You're an,
thing I'd
you're
be
an
doing, I
artist
guess?
as your profession, right? So it's however
Hmm.
you would spend the day as an artist. It's Tuesday, July 24th, 1877. And again, you remember a place called Saltmarsh in Washington Territory. You remember that you think Shader, when you look at Shader's picture, you feel like he should be around here somewhere. Or somewhere in
Right.
Seattle. You get that impression. You don't know why exactly. And you remember
So
that
I
he's
don't
in the
remember anything
military.
about the
He's in the
military?
military or something. Yeah. You
Okay.
don't know of any forts that are still in Seattle itself.
Okay. So he might be somewhere kind of around
Hmm.
here, but not necessarily close to me.
Yeah, he could be.
Um, I get the impression, I feel like I would have a stronger memory of Saltmarsh and
You
the
do.
other two.
Yeah, you were with
Just
them for
because,
longer. That is correct.
yeah.
So yeah.
Um, so I am interested in kind of looking that up,
Okay, yeah.
like maybe going to a
Yeah.
library, or
There's
if I have
there.
any books that might
I don't know
say,
historically if there's a library, but I'm sure there's a place that you could. Give me a luck check. How about that? We'll start with that.
okay. Or if there was a university there that early. I
Oh,
don't know.
I don't know
Uh,
either. I
I'm
forgot to do
kind of.
some in-depth. I did
I
this
thought about
research on
looking that up.
Townsend, freaking Townsend, Fort Townsend, because it was so hard to find a fort that actually existed in 1877 in that vicinity.
Yeah, there aren't very many of them.
No, a lot of them were shut down by now, or they haven't been built yet. And what'd you get? How'd you do for luck?
Uh, That's a 4 and a 10, so I assume 14.
That's 14. That's got to be a success. Wait a
What
minute.
was I rolling?
You look through your luck. You look through your
That's probably extreme.
you look through your bookshelf, and what do you know? There's an 1876 atlas
Nice.
that your father handed off to you before you left, and quipped, "Don't get lost." Ha 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 ha. You know, that kind of thing. Dad joke. And so it only takes a few moments of looking through the Washington Territory section to find that on the very west coast is marked a town called Saltmarsh.
Cool.
Not far from, there's another marking on there for La Push. And hold on a sec. I might be able to actually put the map up that I created. If I can find the freaking music notes. Maps, no, that's Seattle. I found this
Do I know
earlier.
if there's like a train there or like?
According to your map, there is not. A train would have a solid line, and usually would have the words on it for whatever train line that is. All the trains go south of Seattle. The
Or like a coach?
Hold on.
Like
hold
how would I get there? I guess.
on. You could start doing research on that today.
Okay.
Let's see.
Cool.
It's not on this map.
You got a map of Washington Territory.
Yeah.
And,
Yep, I found it. Here, I'll put it in again. Into
It's like the Washington Territory one's like really close in the Saltmarsh maps.
Saltmarsh maps. Saltmarsh maps. Oh yeah, you're right. If you go to Saltmarsh maps in our
Washington
channel here,
Territory.
and you scroll up just
1875?
one. Yeah,
there's
the one
actually
that's
two right on top of one another. I don't know what the first one was, but
the first one is
Oh,
not
no.
not completely marked. If you go to the one that says
Okay.
Washington, that has like a white border around it,
Yeah.
I'm on
then and click on it, and then if you scroll over to the top, and if you can expand it and go over to the top left, you'll see where Saltmarsh is. And there's like not even dotted lines for roads or anything on the way back to Seattle.
I'm reading that right though, right? Like Seattle's just north of Saltmarsh.
West.
Am I right?
East. I mean, Seattle should be almost due east. Saltmarsh is at the far left side of the map, up in the corner.
Which county? Because the counties
Calum.
are big.
Calum County.
Calum.
The Calum County is the
okay.
most northwestern county. All the way
there's
to the
Earl.
left on the
All right.
coast, you'll see La Push, and you should see Saltmarsh. You might have to really expand it.
Yeah, it's really
blurry when I zoom in.
It's very
it's
small.
real tiny.
Yeah,
It's
well,
real
all the
tiny.
names of all the towns on these maps
Yeah.
are small. This is a huge map, though. So,
Yeah.
if you,
I can't really.
okay, it's all the way to the left.
If you
I'm
see
seeing
that
Chehalis, Pacific, Cowlitz, Clatsop.
Like- if you see the C in Calum County, and you head southwest of that, or
I don't. I
okay,
see Clark,
Clark.
Blackman,
okay,
Washington. Am I looking at the wrong map?
You're looking at the wrong place. Go to the left, all the way to the left.
I am on the left.
you see Vancouver Island
Clark.
and Victoria and the Strait of whatever Wandayuka.
Vancouver Island is at the top. Oh, Callum. Oh, but just say Vancouver Island. That would be
Yeah,
easy.
Vancouver Island.
Because
It's
it's right
just
below
south of
that.
Vancouver Island. Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's huge
Yeah.
on the map.
Sorry. Yeah, it's really blurry though. Oh, I kind of see it.
So
Okay.
you find that in
Yeah.
your atlas. You start
Fine.
making inquiries and finding out. So here's what you learn. Make me another luck check.
Ah, 36.
Is that a success?
Gotta be like a hard success. I have 65.
Oh yeah, 36 is. It should be on the character sheet. 65 is going to be a 33.
Not.
Is going to be a hard success.
Okay, so
I
almost
think.
hard.
Yeah. But it's still a
A
success.
regard, yeah.
So you
success regard.
so you find out two things. There is a stagecoach that runs from it runs from Port Ludlow. You have to cross first. You have to cross on a ferry, cross the Sound, and then at Port Ludlow there's a stagecoach that leaves on Tuesday mornings very early. And it supposedly goes to Saltmarsh. It gets there by Wednesday afternoon, and it's back here by Friday. Um, that has already left for the week. It runs
Yeah,
once
what
a
day
week.
is it?
Today is Tuesday, July 24th, 1877. So you've just missed
Yeah.
that. However, they do mention if you want to go down by the docks, there is this woman who has a sloop, and they don't know the name, but she might be down there, and she makes runs back and forth to the west coast of the state. And this guy has heard she goes to some town called Saltmarsh in the middle of nowhere. Um, when you get down to the docks, after a short time looking around, you are pointed out a sloop that is there called the Northern Exposure. Um, they aim you in the direction of where they think the woman who owns it is. By the end of the day, you find her. She is in a saloon eating a sandwich. It looks like there's a beer next to her. She is very pretty, slim, in her probably 30s. Um, I'll put a picture.
Say, I'm sure she's in.
Yeah,
the
I know.
NPC
She's in
mix,
NPCs,
but she's
but
going to be
way
up
up there.
Yeah,
So we'll stick another picture of her in NPCs real quick.
short dark hair.
Yes, very
Um,
pretty. There she is. So she's in NPCs.
Oh, nice.
And she is apparently having her dinner.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, I.
Oh, make Shaeder. Do I want to leave this up to chance? No, I don't. Go ahead. Tell me what you want to do first, and then I'll interrupt you.
Yeah, I feel like I almost want to. Is it like a bar where you go and order at the bar and then take it to a table, or like do they
No,
come around?
this is okay. This is more of a restaurant.
Okay. Got
It is so there are people who are at going. There are waiters and waitresses at the table. Um, so it's not really saloon. So we're going to retro that it
Gotcha.
is a restaurant, and it is kind of an inexpensive restaurant. It's not a dive, but they serve from sandwiches up to steaks. There is drinks, and it does seem a little bit less rough and tumble than a lot of the saloons down by the docks.
Nice and middle ground. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I know how to recognize her. I know who she
Yeah,
is.
yeah. They told you she has short hair, short black hair,
Okay.
very pretty. Usually she
Cool.
wears trousers. That's a dead giveaway right there. There's not a
Okay.
lot of women in town who are not wearing dresses or skirts or
Right.
whatever.
Of course. Okay. I will casually walk up to her table and I definitely don't want to like surprise her or anything. I don't want to be rude.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
um, probably not right behind her, but like from the side or something. And I just say something like, "Excuse me, are you?" I got her name right.
No, you haven't gotten her name yet. I don't think I mentioned
Okay.
her name yet.
Okay. I'll just say, are you the woman who owns the sloop down by the docks that goes to Saltmarsh by any chance?
She looks at you kind of suspiciously. She says, "Maybe. Why?"
Oh, I'm so sorry to disturb you while you're eating your dinner or supper, whatever we would say.
That's fine.
But my name is Isabella, and I I have some acquaintances in Saltmarsh that I would like to meet with. Do you take passengers?
Oh, you want to ride? Oh. Oh, yes. Oh,
If
sit down,
possible.
sit down, sit down. She invites you to sit down
Okay.
and join her. Um, you would not believe some of the kind of people in Seattle. She kind of looks around the room. As she does so, Alonzo Schrader, your work today has taken you into Seattle. You took a ferry
Okay.
across to town to start to requisition some supplies and have them prepared to be sent, mainly food, barrels of water. You found that the water supply there's a small well, but if you need to like get a bunch of canteens filled fast, it's not going to hack it. So you decided to get some water sent back over to the fort, a few other sundries, that kind of thing, in case your
Yep.
your people, in case you're called into action. And it's been a very busy and tiring day. You found a restaurant that you've been to before, and decided to go and grab a quick bite before you take the last ferry back to the fort. Probably either accompanying. You're not even accompanying all that stuff. You had it sent on. So you're taking a little bit of time for yourself. Um, you also know somebody at this restaurant who might be able to hook you up if he's here with some either opium or hashish.
Oh, what's that?
That
He's
is,
a waiter.
yeah, it's a waiter. It's a waiter named Leroy Jenkins. Sorry, that's the first name that came to mind. So we're gonna keep it.
I forget who that is. I know the name, though.
Leroy Jenkins. It was a World of
It's a
Warcraft,
World of Warcraft
meme from
meme.
like 20 years ago.
Oh,
That
okay.
turned into a meme everywhere else. too.
Yes. So that's his name. You don't know if it's his real name, but he works here. You think you're hoping he's working here tonight. Yeah,
He
because
just bursts into every room he enters.
he does. He's a very abrupt person. Yeah.
The
So,
Kool-Aid Man.
and as you enter this restaurant, it's a nice restaurant. It's not an upscale restaurant or anything, but it's nice, and they serve good food. Across the room, you spot a familiar face sitting at a table of Isabella Eldridge, who
Oh.
you recall from the Dreamlands. She is dressed how, Isabella Eldridge?
Oh shit.
You're pretty
I
contemporarily
don't
dressed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Dress,
She comes
blouse,
from wealth,
whatever,
so
and yeah, well dressed. Not like
Certainly.
overly dressed or like in anything fancy, but nicely dressed.
yeah.
Probably has a
Yeah,
hat and a
um,
big hat pin, holding your hat in. Is
Sure.
your hair
Something
piled
like
up? Because
Yeah.
that is kind of the fashion at the time. She is sitting, and I will give Isabella. I'm going to give you a spot hidden to see if you see him. I'm giving him the see you to try to get you guys together here a little bit. But
Oh,
Well, and he remembers the Dreamlands, and she
vividly.
Yeah,
But she did remember faces, and she does remember people. You don't make it, so you don't see him, but
big
you do
fail,
see her.
99.
She is 99. Is that an extreme failure? Is that a fumble? What is your spot hidden? Is your spot hidden 50?
Good question.
If it's less than 50, that's a fumble.
Yeah, then yeah, it is.
Okay.
26.
Yeah. You're engrossed in conversation with who you find out the lady's name is Maggie Connor.
Okay.
And the two of you are negotiating for your passage to Saltmarsh and when it's leaving. So, Shaeder, you spot Miss Eldridge. She has not noticed you.
I remember her.
Oh, vividly.
I
She
don't know
doesn't.
the woman she's talking to, though.
I believe. No, and that lady's facing away from you, so you can't see her face very clearly. Her hair's up. She just looks like a lady of this era. I believe when you met her before, she had this big blue dress with lots of pockets. Isabella, was your hair down the whole time that you were in the Dreamlands?
Oh man, I never actually thought about it.
I didn't either till just now. It probably was if Isabella's kind of a rebel, and I mean, you're wearing a dress with a lot of pockets, as opposed to
Maybe like a half up, half down. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So she looks different, but you definitely recognize her and you remember her vividly.
Okay. She's talking to somebody right now, so I'll
Yes.
wait for that conversation to finish.
Okay, are you going to get a
And I'll-
table or anything?
Yeah, I'll secure a table myself.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So Maggie Connor says that she was planning on leaving tomorrow, but for $10 she can take you to Saltmarsh. It takes 12 to 18 hours. It's not an easy journey, but it's certainly better than riding on a stagecoach for 20 hours or 30 or however long it takes. Not to mention going through the mountains.
Oh,
It
yes,
depends on the
very
wind
bumpy
too.
ride,
She's
I
telling you
imagine.
about the wind, and it depends on the wind. It could take from 12 to 18 hours. But her sloop can make
Okay.
can make a good 12 knots if she's got the wind behind her. She waits for you to be impressed by
Okay.
that, and you don't know what 12 knots is, so you probably
I
just look at her blankly.
exactly.
That's a
In
number.
and out of
It's a
character, in character, I try to kind of pretend that I'm impressed. Like I politely, go,
Make me a fast talk. Make me a fast talk to try to like convince her that you don't not
It's more that
know.
I'm trying to be polite, not to
Yeah, that's
lie.
no. I know. But this will be how well you act out. Like, oh, wow, or whatever. How'd you do? No.
No.
Okay, yeah.
89.
She goes. That's about 14 miles an hour, which you know is
Oh,
pretty fast.
okay.
Except for trains, there's not a lot that can go that quickly unless a horse at a full gallop. But you can't ride a horse at a full gallop
Yeah, so you can't
across
ride a
a
horse
county.
that hard.
No, you'll kill it. And you know that. So,
Oh, okay.
she likes to
Whoa.
leave at dawn when the tide's going out.
Okay.
And she was planning on returning tomorrow. And she actually tells you this between bites of sandwich. It seems kind of rude to you that she continues eating her meal while she's talking to you, but she doesn't seem to think much of it herself. She doesn't seem to. It's not like she's trying to be rude. You don't think she just doesn't care.
Right. She's sort of a
And she's
we would call it maybe lower class, but I see that as rude. But
or frontier
for the
lady, frontier woman.
Frontier lady,
I mean, she's
yeah.
wearing pants. Come on.
right, she's different from me
Mhm.
for sure.
She definitely is.
Okay.
So, are you still interested?
Yeah.
Do you get seasick?
Oh. Mm, I haven't been. Have I been on the sea?
You were in the Dreamlands. You did fine in the
Probably.
Dreamlands. I don't think you ever got seasick on any of the ships that you were on there.
That's true. Yeah, and well, I mean, I was thinking before that, whether I would have.
Before that was mostly smaller
Well,
boats
boat.
like canoes. Remember, you did the canoeing when you were a child.
Sure.
You probably did
Okay,
a couple
so
small,
I'm pretty
short
familiar.
things. Okay. No, whatever you decide is
I
fine.
think I should be okay.
Oh, good. I'm at dock 14. She
Okay,
finishes her sandwich, grabs the beer. It's only half full, and she finishes it off and puts it down. Um, and she thinks a moment, and she looks a little disgusted. But then she takes out a quarter and she puts it on the table. Tipping is
What's
relatively new. Tipping came about after the Civil War, so
Oh.
that white people didn't have to pay black people as much money, and they encouraged
Right.
tipping. So it's ishy new, and obviously she doesn't
Okay.
like it very much. She thinks it's
So
stupid.
that makes me think she paid for the thing before.
She might have paid
and
when she
now
got her
this is
food or
it.
something. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, Miss Eldridge, I look forward to seeing
I
you
guess I
tomorrow.
just take note of that.
How much luggage have you got?
Oh,
Oh,
I hadn't really thought about how long I would be staying.
well, as long as you don't have like 10 crates of luggage, it should be fine.
No, of course
Okay.
not. Perhaps only one or two
Crates?
suitcases. Or,
Oh, that's fine.
uh,
That's fine. I'm
something
sure it'll
like
be
that.
fine. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Okay. Anything else I should know about the trip or Saltmarsh itself?
It takes from 12 to 18 hours depending on the weather, and
Right.
so you're going to be on a boat on my sloop for quite a while. So just be prepared.
Okay.
There'll be some food and water
Okay.
on board. If we'll eat on the way, but if the weather could be rough, so dress appropriately. She kind of looks you up and down your nice dress, and she just nods at you.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I think she's well dressed for
Yeah.
she's used to being in the cold because this place she's lived here all her life, and
Oh yeah. What's it doing outside?
she's used to the weather here.
Yeah, it's raining.
Okay.
So it's been raining all
She's
day.
got
So
whatever's appropriate.
yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
You probably have an umbrella. You've probably got maybe an overcoat that's a slicker. Yeah, they had umbrellas by this time.
I guess they would have like parasols and
Right,
stuff
you,
like that.
and you probably have something that's waterproof. There's a rumble of thunder outside, and Maggie looks and she says, "I'll see you tomorrow." And then she turns and leaves and heads out of the restaurant.
Well, okay. Well, sleep well.
She just kind of waves as she walks away,
Okay, bye.
and now she's
All
gone.
right.
Shader, did you order a meal or anything or food while you were waiting?
I've got some coffee while I'm waiting.
Okay, yeah. So you've finished up your first cup of coffee when these two part. Miss Eldridge does not appear to have ordered any food and is still
I
sitting at the
will.
table. And this other
I
lady,
mean, I would have if it were a longer
Well,
conversation. I would have ordered
the
food and a
conversation
beer or
probably only
something.
lasted like 15 minutes. Because remember, she
I
was
will
eating
get.
while talking to you,
Right.
so she was finishing up
If
her
the waiter
meal.
comes over, though,
He does. He
I
will.
will order like
I'll,
at least a drink.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll see if I can't get her
during that
attention.
time.
Okay. Hey. Hey. No.
What do you do?
Do you just kind of give her a little wave or clear your throat nearby, or what? How do you want to do it?
Actually, what I'll do is I think I'll get up from my table, walk over.
Okay.
Miss Eldridge, is it? Do you remember me?
You do remember him.
Look actually
Yeah.
considerably different.
I definitely am gonna pause for a second, thinking about it.
He's wearing an army uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you armed, Alonzo? Do you have a sidearm or not? You don't have to
Yeah.
have one for going into
No,
town.
I normally take one anyway.
Okay, so he's got a sidearm. He's got a pistol on his belt. He's probably got his hat under his arm.
My hat's actually sitting on the table at the
Oh,
moment.
it's still sitting on that table. Okay. Yeah. He
No reason to pick it up when I'm not leaving the restaurant.
he's not got a hat on.
The eyes are the same, but everything else is older.
Okay, I like that.
Like it's this. If you study it, it looks like the same man, aged 30 years.
Yeah, he looks rough.
Okay. Yeah, so it definitely takes me a second to recognize you. Also because I didn't remember the dream perfectly.
Yeah, but the point is, even if you did, I
Yeah.
looked in the dream. I looked good. Here, I don't.
Right. Yeah, so I definitely like pause for maybe just a second or half a second too long to make it like a little bit awkward as I'm trying to figure out who you are. And I go, oh, sir, you look familiar. Where do I know you from? I must know you from somewhere. Forgive me, I don't remember your name.
It's quite all right. It was something of a dream. Named Shaeder, Lieutenant Alonzo Shaeder. We met sailing.
Oh. So then I guess it dawns on me then.
Yeah, it can. As whenever you want it to.
It all clicks.
It clicks.
And
This
I
is the
go,
guy from the dream you had last night. One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go, oh, Alonzo. Wow. I am so sorry I didn't remember you at first. I had
All right.
a distracting moment when I woke up this morning, and it took me some time to recall that whole adventure, of which
quite
it's still very fuzzy, but it's quite a coincidence to see you here.
This is why I came as I did. I was surprised to see you as well. Will you join me for supper?
Yes. I guess I would offer him to sit, or
Yeah, she gestures to the seat
don't
across
know.
from her. You can.
Okay. Then I will go collect my hat.
A waiter shows up and takes away Maggie's dish and stuff, and then Alonzo comes back and sits down. The two of you can order. You can get a meal here for not a substantial amount of money. It's pretty cheap.
I think what I'm going to do pretty much is spend some time filling her in on what she doesn't remember well.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect.
You can info dump.
Thank you.
You're going to be there for a few hours if you're going to go into any great detail.
Well, there'll come a point where I need to cut out because I need to catch the ferry.
Yes.
So
That's
I'm going to
true.
do that basically until the point where I really have to go because I
Okay.
need to catch the last ferry back across the sound.
Yeah.
So I will
Okay. And what do you
excuse
say
myself at
about
that
this
point.
ferry? Because
Oh,
do you mention that?
Yeah, I need to get back
Where
to
you're
the fort,
going?
Yeah.
Oh.
and that's the last boat. So if I miss it, I'll have to make my way all the way around the sound, and that is
That'll take
Not fun.
hours, yes.
Yeah. So,
Oh, I see. So, well, I just chartered a sloop to take me to Saltmarsh. Actually, the woman I was talking to, Maggie Connor. Um, in case you need her name later, perhaps if you want to meet
Wait,
us there at
wait,
some
that place
point,
is
or
real? Wait, what?
so it is as Mr. Hutton suggested. It is here too. Oh, well, I'm not at liberty to do so at present, but if I ever get the
right.
opportunity, I'll certainly take it.
That makes sense. I understand you're stationed at present and
Yes. Well,
preoccupied with that. But if you get some time off or something, some time for leave,
and
I don't know how long I plan on staying there, but I could maybe send word to you via
I
telegram or post, whatever the whatever the
Definitely telegram, right?
standard
There's
way to
got to be a
communicate is.
telegraph office there.
yeah. Well, if they don't have a telegraph office, then right. I'm as I said, I'm at
Yes.
Fort Townsend, so
Okay.
right to my attention there, and the military post should do the rest.
Okay. Fantastic. How about I just send you word when I arrive, after if I can meet up with Mr. Hutton and Mr. Jimenez.
And Wabo Cabo, don't
Uh,
forget Captain Wabo Cabo. He must be there too.
oh yeah,
Remember, you
okay.
don't remember
And
exact details, so as far as you know,
right,
he's another person that's out here.
okay, yeah, and I say, and the captain. It will be nice to see them all again. So
It will. Yes, please write me when you get there and keep me updated. Okay, I've
okay,
got to run. I don't want to miss the ferry.
all
The
right.
captain is going to be
Godspeed.
irate.
Irate.
And likewise, good travels.
Okay,
Yeah, he'll get
All
listen.
right.
He'll get over it. The point is, I don't want to miss the boat.
because it's a lot
For
of pain in
reasons.
the ass for you, right? Yeah. No, if you've been
Right.
keeping an eye on the
Also, I
time,
would like.
you make
Also, I
it.
would
You
like
make
to
the
sleep. I
list.
would like to sleep in a bed.
Yeah, rather, yeah. You make the ferry. You. Oh, make me a luck check. Oh shit. Okay, there's a problem. Make me a luck check real quick, Shaeder, please.
Okay.
I need a picture of
Let's
Leroy Jenkins. That was inadvertent.
Okay.
That just popped out,
That
unfortunately.
that is a failure for luck.
That is a failure. You don't see Jenkins anywhere in the restaurant. You got all talking to Isabella Eldridge, and it was almost it took your mind off of the palsy, and it took your mind off of the need for the drugs for a little while because you were so engrossed in your story.
Yeah. Well, it felt
And he
better
might
over
have
there
you
than
don't
here.
yeah, you don't know if he was there or not. Yeah, I mean you're gonna if you've been watching the time, you're gonna make the ferry. That's no problem. You get there in time
Yeah.
to get on board, get across the sound, and then get back to the fort. Probably hand over your like requisition forms or receipts or whatever to the
Yeah. They'll
quartermaster
need.
there. And
Well,
so
I am the quartermaster.
oh, that's right, you're the quartermaster, so you just keep your receipts, put them in your
Yeah.
desk or
Well,
wherever.
I'll have them. I'll send them basically to the captain's office to be countersigned,
Right,
so that
right.
he knows what it is that's been done
Okay,
and what's to be expected.
gotcha. Um,
Um,
uh,
and then I'm. I probably there's a lot of me that wants to head right back to
back
go
where?
dream again.
Oh yeah, you could. That's up to you. If you want to go back to bed and head back for the Dreamlands, you'll find that way to the Dreamlands very easily. And then it's up to you in the dream whether or not you take it or if you just have normal dreams that night.
Question, just random out of character question.
Hmm.
If we do go back to the Dreamlands in a normal dream, can we use our dreaming magic in those dreams?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can return to the Dreamlands anytime you want now.
Oh, yeah.
You look for a staircase
But
down.
my dreaming. Oh yeah, the dreaming does. Never
Dreaming
mind.
stays
Okay.
the same.
Yeah.
Dreaming, Cthulhu Mythos, and Sanity don't
I
change.
think
Mhm.
honestly, I think I will
Okay.
because it's better there than ever was here,
Yeah, it is.
and given the fact that just in case I find myself called back into service this way, I want to. This is safer than the Lotus and the opium.
Interesting.
Is
Okay.
it? Is it?
It can be, depending on what you
yes.
do. If you
Yes,
don't go
it
off
is.
that trail and look at that weird guy with the giant head, you don't know what happened there.
Well,
And even if you die
so
there, you'll probably live here, maybe. Sort of. Who knows?
well, I'm not looking to die there. I'm just
No.
looking to
He
have a
doesn't know.
pleasant sojourn, so that I will wake up feeling better about myself in general.
Yeah, and what you did last time.
Exactly.
You still feel that physical need for the opiate. That's something you're going to have to deal with at some point. But you did have a better feeling about yourself than the terrible, weird visions and dreams you'd had before that.
Yeah. So this is an
Under
experiment, is what it is.
so,
I'm wondering if this is how good this is for my mental health.
back to Fernando and Loren. That first day, that Tuesday after breakfast, anything you guys wanted to do? I mean, you're just going to go back to your lives. What's the plan here?
I'm definitely like going to the barber shop, getting a fresh shave. Like
yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, the mayor's the barber. Remember, he's the barber and
but
he's a dentist too.
he's
So yeah, he'll give you a fresh shave. He'll give you a haircut,
Well,
shampoo.
like I said, he keeps that pencil thin mustache. So
Right,
he's
yeah.
probably in there getting that touched up like
Yeah.
at least every other day.
He'll give you, and you can get a regular shave on the rest of your face there too
Right.
every day.
Yeah.
So you're primping yourself a little bit and cleaning up after all this.
Like I said,
But-
he probably feels like he's been gone for such a long time, and like he never had this in the Dreamlands, so he wanted to
That's true.
really
let me-
immerse himself in that again.
Let me tell you what's been going on in Saltmarsh for the last couple months. Because you guys, all this happened to you in June, but there had been a couple months between the end of the last game session and the beginning of that first one where you went.
Right.
The mosquitoes have been really bad this year.
Okay.
Just terrible.
Okay.
The only ones who are spared having feels like swarms of mosquitoes are people that live really close to the sea because the Pacific breezes kind of keep them at bay. You are living in the hotel, which is not that close. So
No, I'm not.
I thought you were living at. You're living at Miss Trudy's, aren't you? Miss
No,
Trudy's
I was living up at Hazard's place. I worked out a
were
deal
you?
with him that I would tend to the horses up there.
Okay, you're living
for
at
room and board,
Hazard's,
essentially.
so you're
Yeah.
taking a 4-mile ride down into town every day to work.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Hutton staying
He likes riding. That's another thing. He loves riding his horse too.
right.
So
Hutton, you've been staying at what's her name's Mercy Danforth's boarding house,
Yep.
which is not in close to the shore, not
Okay.
terribly close. So there's not a lot of it's actually shielded by the hill to the south of it. So you've been
it's
getting
probably
there's
the
bad
thickest
mosquitoes. Yes, and actually, 2 people have even died from they don't know what. Dr. Davis is not, or I think his name is Davis. Dr. Let's see, King.
So Dempsey's been busy too.
No, he hasn't, and that's pissed Dempsey off.
Oh.
Hold on a sec, I'll tell you why. The fuck is my doctor's name? Every time I look for something under pressure like this, I cannot find. Dr. Davis, Dr. Isaac Davis. A lot of people have been going to the clinic out in the swamp that was established about in late April by Father Lyman. Okay? He had come into town, he set up this clinic, and he was a specialist in diseases and insects and stuff like that.
And
Herbalism.
he was looking into diseases in the swamp.
Yes,
right?
he was. He was
That's-
looking into diseases out there. He's a Catholic priest, though he doesn't do sermons and he doesn't actually have a church. He's just got this clinic that was constructed for him. A lot of the white people in town were kind of interested because Dr. Davis is a Negro. So certain people put forth money to help build this little clinic for him, so that in case, because there's still some racist people in Saltmarsh. There's racist people everywhere. Anyway, so the 2 people have died. either from the disease or from insect attacks. It's not, or both, or the insects biting them so much they get some kind of disease from that. Those two were buried at a cemetery that's out there close to the clinic, an old prospector cemetery that was already there. Um, and the reason for that was because if it was some kind of contagious disease, it was best to have the bodies stay far away from town. Um, the mosquitoes are bad every year. The two of you understand, but this year it has been even worse. Um, Most who are attacked or fall victim to the toxins are have been taken going out to Father Lyman's to get treated because Dr. Davis, all he can do is give them some salves and
Val.
salves and stuff like that to kind of relieve the pain, but he can't find a medical reason for people to get sick from these insect bites. It's not to be historically, it's not until 1877 that mosquitoes are linked to the spread of lymphatic filariasis, and that probably hasn't really information on that hasn't even reached Saltmarsh yet, and it won't be till 1881 that yellow fever is connected to mosquitoes. So at this juncture, nobody really knows mosquitoes can carry certain things, and whatever it is, it seems to look like mosquito bites all over your body. If it's not just mosquito bites all over your body. Dr. Davis has been having a very, very hard time with this, and a lot of people who go out to Father Lyman's clinic, have been staying for a few days, and then they're fine. They come back to town. Um, and it's been pretty regular. People getting sick. Only two have died already this year. Um, in other news, the Saltmarsh Water Company has been established, primarily financed by money that was brought back from that last trip that the Sea Ghost took down there to the fucking Quinowat homeland or whatever the fuck that was all about. And the water company's been hard at work setting pipes leading from upriver, from a reservoir that's being dug upriver on the Kingfisher River, way up. Um, they want to lay pipes down, and then some construction has started on a water tower in town. Um, the watermen were against it. There was almost like a little war until Councilman Jeffrey hired them all to work for the water department. So they're still bringing water right now, but they're also working and learning how to do the pipes and all that shit. And that's how he kind of integrated them so that they wouldn't be fighting against this whole new water system. And ever since then, it's been smooth sailing. But it's probably going to be late in the year before the water tower is even finished. And it'll certainly be over the course of several years before. From your understanding, Jeffrey wants Jeffrey wants first to set up public fountains or public places to get water, and then he wants to run pipes to every house in Saltmarsh. Is his overall plan, and that money, that all that gold that came in from dealing with the Quinowat, is going a long way towards getting this done. So that's the local news. Hutton, what about you? Is there anything that you're doing?
He's going to go and try to speak with Cunningham.
Okay. Yeah, Cunningham's there. It's a weekday.
Yeah. And kind of...
yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
Loren!
Try to... Good day. I need to speak with you in private.
Oh. Make me a luck check, Hutton. If you make it, Abraham's not there. There's only one other person who works for the paper. So, yeah, he's not there right now. He's probably out talking to somebody. Because,
Nope,
he works as...
He said thumbs up.
Yeah. Nobody else is there except Cunningham.
Oh, okay.
Abraham's probably off talking to somebody. He does some writing. He mostly does typesetting, but he also reports.
Okay.
And, he's African-American, too.
Um,
Yeah, he looks around the room. There's nobody there. Abraham's out.
So last evening I had a very vivid dream.
Oh.
About the individual Wilkes.
Oh, fellow that owned this place before he died.
Yes. This is gonna seem far fetched, but In a sense, he haunts the upstairs,
Okay. All right.
and
Lauren, I was out there at this with a sea ghost. Don't forget. And I saw that thing that came out of the water.
yeah, and
So I'm really believe just about anything now.
he 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 would like to return to the waking world.
He's a ghost that wants to return. What? What? You've lost me.
That's apparently he willingly entered the waking world permanent, or the dream world permanently.
What's the dream
And that-
world? You're gonna pretty much have to break this down for him and like
Yeah,
explain everything about your dreams and how you think it's
Yep.
real and all this other stuff. Okay. Um, give me a persuade check. Let's see how well you explain it, how well he takes it, or if you can think of another skill that works better.
regular success.
Regular success, yeah. Okay, you get your point across pretty well. You know, Cunningham has seen some shit between the Quinoat and the freaking thing that came out of the fucking water when that whole thing went underneath. He gets out the bottle again, goes over and closes the front door. It's been open because it's so hot right now in late
Yeah.
July, and puts a close sign on and pulls down the curtain and gets out the bottle of whiskey and shares you another glass as you tell him this long ass story about the Dreamlands and go into great detail. Um, oh, okay, all right. So
Do you tell him how you got to the Dreamlands? I want to. I don't know. I think that's an interesting question. But
what the drinking? Did you drink that weird liquid stuff?
yeah.
Probably. I would assume he told him everything pretty much. He
okay.
can remember. Maybe not super details and stuff, but okay. So
'Cause I'm just like he was probably there at that auction.
He was.
And he might have saw the bidding. Well, I don't know whether there's a bidding war or not.
no,
on
nobody
that or
really
not,
bid
but-
on that stuff. Here's a weird, some weird maybe poison.
Yeah,
You want to buy it?
But
Nobody
that,
wanted to
that
buy
is
that.
what. Oh, but did it? Lauren ask him for the money though to get that stuff?
I think I don't
Yeah.
remember. Did he? Okay.
He fronted me the money.
Yeah, and it wasn't very much though.
Yeah,
it was
but
only
yeah.
like it was less than $100.
So
Okay.
okay,
So that kind of brings that full circle as why Lauren wanted this box so badly. Okay. Well, what does this mean exactly?
Well,
I've slept up there. Never saw anything. Nothing ever happened to me. I slept up there for like a year.
he did mention that he had a hard time connecting with you.
Good.
I think maybe because well, it turns out he is an uncle to me.
All right.
Maybe that made it somewhat easier. But I definitely think for the time being we should avoid allowing anybody to stay up there.
Oh, all right. That shouldn't be a problem. Nobody's stayed up there except for you and me. Since
And-
I've gotten here,
And
we can move the morgue down here. I got a closet right there. We can put it in. You know what that means? You're a newspaper man. It's the morgue, the newspaper morgue, old copy.
okay.
okay.
They call it a morgue. So you would know that for sure. We could do it right. I'll do it right now. You don't want to go up there, do you?
Well, I could help bring it down if you need help.
Oh, I could use the help. Let's do it. We'll get it done as quick as we can, in
Yeah.
case your fellow is watching or whatever. One thing. Okay, you get it down. There's not a problem. He does ask. He's like, so if you go up there and you go to sleep, are you gonna be able to talk to him?
I never was in the past, but
But that's before you went to this dream place.
yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, nobody's gonna go up there, and there's no reason to even go up there anymore. I'm not gonna bother locking that trap door or there's like there's a trap door from the steps from down here, and then there's a back door, and that's he tells you that door's locked. So shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But now you said, hold on now, you said he was buried with that last paper that had this spell on it or whatever, right? You told him everything, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
That's.
But that's not what I heard. I heard when he died, they found him clutching his last newspaper, but that it disappeared. At some point between his death and them taking that body out from up there, and a lot of people passed through to see him, because that was years ago. But but that paper disappeared, as far as I could tell. That's what I heard.
I might have an idea of where it could be.
Oh, well, you might want to get rid of it then, if he needs that to get back.
Yes, it's yeah.
I would also suggest you write all this down, Loren. Don't forget to write it all down.
Oh,
We're not going to put it in the paper. We don't have enough paper room, but it's a good thing
We don't want
to
to make anybody go crazy.
no, I wouldn't do that. But it's a good thing to have some things like this written down. Commit them to memory, so you'll keep it in mind.
I might also, as I said, there were two others that were from, I'm pretty sure, the Seattle area.
Yeah, they were. You guys discussed it at least 2 or 3 times.
I might need to get some letters out to them.
Oh, well, the stage will be here tomorrow. No, wait, today's Tuesday. Yeah, he looks at his calendar. Yeah. The stage will be here tomorrow, so you can send them then.
Yeah, I'll focus on that first. And I'll basically just be writing letters to Isabella Eldridge of Seattle.
Yeah.
And to Alonzo Shaeder of Seattle.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. It might take them a little longer to find Alonzo, but they'll probably be able to. It's a post office. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so you're going to write letters to them that day.
Yep. And we'll also, with what time I have left, start writing down.
Yeah, you can you can jot notes to start with, or do an outline, and then you can start writing it out in more detail later too, to make sure. Oh shit! Oh, my dogs are going outside in the dark. When I hear her come back in, I gotta close that door. So, okay, so Kevin, Alonzo makes it back. You make it back to the fort. You've done all the things that you're supposed to do. We'll jump ahead a little bit. Isabella, you're muted. Just FYI. You get to Maggie's ship the next day. Here's a question for you. What all are you taking? And are you taking the library? Remember, some old and very delicate books. Okay. So you're going to pack them all in a suitcase and
I guess
take them along with you? Okay.
I almost want to bring the violin too, but I don't know why.
You can bring it. Can your character play?
I know how to play it, right?
Do you have anything in art, craft, violin? Then you can play at 5%. Because that's what art craft starts at. So you're not very good, but you can.
Okay. Maybe not then.
Okay.
Maybe I should practice more first at home by myself.
Oh, that's fine too. Are you taking canvas, paint, and all that jazz? Yeah. So you do show up with quite a bit of luggage.
Well, maybe not paint. Maybe just drawing stuff, not painting stuff.
So sketch pads and some pencils and charcoal maybe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
But writing and books. Her
sloop is small. You would think it'd take more than one person to actually crew this ship, though. It's not like a little. There is a cabin. There is space underneath and that kind of thing. Although she spends almost all her time, obviously, up on deck. And let's see what kind of weather we're going to start you out with.
Else?
No,
it's
just her. It's still raining, but it looks like the thunderstorm has stopped. Yeah, it's just the two of you. She seems a little surprised to see you. She asked for the $10. Does your character have what is your character's spending rate? Should be on the back
Yeah.
side under assets and that kind of stuff. You look for that. I'm gonna see if my
Oh,
dogs are around.
spending level
Yes.
average. It says $5,
Okay, so
but I
it's
have 35 in cash.
so you're gonna have to make your 35 into 25 because you'll have to use cash, your cash or your assets. You could also have gone to the bank before you came down here this morning, and you can have some more cash from your assets if there's
Okay.
anything in your assets. If you wish to
Yeah.
take more
Oh
money
yeah.
than
There's
$35,
855 in my
855.
assets.
How much do you want to take?
I want to take some more out, just so I have it. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's hard for me to wrap my mind around how much money, the exchange rate
Okay, so you've got the
back
whole
then, but
$5 thing, right? Your
that's my spending level.
spending level.
Cash is
You can
35.
you can probably get 3 meals and a hotel room for a night for less than that, so you don't have to keep track of it. Now, if you want to make any other bigger purchases, like Maggie wanted $10. $10 is like $100 now, or probably more actually
Okay.
now. But she wanted $10 to take you um, to Saltmarsh, which
Okay.
it's not a bad deal. It's probably cheaper on the stagecoach, but it'd probably also take you a lot longer. And she is, I mean, yeah. If you wanna buy a house or something down there, or if you want to make any major purchases, then yeah, you probably should have some money. Are you taking your
Maybe
rifle?
I'll take out like 30 or 40.
Okay, so you want to have like
Yeah.
$60 or $70.
Sure.
Just figure out how
I'll
much
take
you
out.
want and just mark it off
I'll
of.
take out 40
Okay,
from
and
assets.
mark it off your assets and put it onto that, and knock 10 off to
I'm
pay
writing it down.
Maggie. You can have your rifle.
Okay.
She doesn't bat an eye when she sees a rifle case coming onto the boat. Um, um, she does not appear to be armed, but as you're stowing your luggage, which she helps you do, but you're also doing it as well, you do see a rifle is like stowed below decks. Looks like a Winchester. Um,
Okay.
and she actually takes it. Y'all set off in the rain. She's wearing waterproof leathers, that kind of thing, like a slicker and a floppy hat. And once you have left Seattle proper, she does take her rifle out. She checks the armament on it, and she leaves it there on deck nearby where she can get to it easily. Um, as
That's
she is.
only mildly alarming. Like, why? I think I'm a little bit alarmed.
She
by
doesn't say a
that.
word
Like,
to you
please
as she
don't
does
shoot
it.
me.
She just does it as if it's something she does every time. There's a place on deck
Okay.
that she actually has. She hooks a couple ropes to it just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and then she just goes back to working the sloop, and you're off.
Okay.
Um,
I ask her if she needs any help, out of politeness, not because I actually have any skills, and I think that's pretty clear to her.
okay, I think I can handle it, is what she tells you. And
Okay, let me know.
you set off, and the winds are fairly favorable. It does take about 14 hours to make the trip because there are some crosswinds and stuff. We're going to roll for one more weather for you for that day. The rain does clear up after a few hours. It is still overcast, partly cloudy, but not a bad day. And so you'll be arriving close to supper time on Wednesday, July 25th, which is the day that she comes back. Um, you see Saltmarsh
Constitution check.
and you recognize
Constitution
it.
check at all?
No, oh,
right.
nah, not this
All
time.
right.
The weather was
All right.
just rain. It wasn't like
Okay.
if it was another thunderstorm or if it had said tornado, then yeah, there'd be a con check to see if she loses her ballast, so to speak. But you manage to as you come in. The town kind of looks familiar, but it is late afternoon, early evening. It's probably after dark actually by the time you get there. So you see the
Yeah.
twinkle of lights and stuff, but not much else, much other details. She brings the boat in to a dock and secures it, and then she points up a street and she says the saloon and hotel is right up the street up there on the left. You should be able to find a room for the night there, miss. She helps you
Lovely.
get your luggage onto the dock. I'm assuming you took a cab or something the day before, so they brought all your stuff. Um, and she's actually willing to help you carry it up to the saloon because she's going there anyway.
Okay. I thank her. And I will offer to buy her a beer
Oh, she'll
when we
take
get
you up on
there.
that. Um, and you guys have chatted during the voyage. She did put the gun back away under the deck um, after you guys actually after she'd moored the ship at Saltmarsh is when she took the gun and she or the rifle and tucked it away again. Um, as you pass a few people on the streets, they're like Maggie. Everybody seems to know her. This town looks like it's fairly small. I mean, it's good sized, and you start getting a little unnerved though as you start recognizing the buildings that you're passing. They're a lot
Right.
like the buildings in Wilkesboro in the
Except
Dreamlands.
Yeah.
these are wooden, where those were
There's
stone, though,
they're
for the
mostly
most
wooden.
part.
The ones in Wilkesboro are a mix of stone and wood, um, and the saloon is very familiar looking. Although there are bigger windows and it's got a batwing door in the front, and you can hear music playing inside. Sounds like guitar music and piano music playing in tandem. Um, and as you enter the place, you recognize the person playing the guitar is Fernando Jimenez. And you're like,
Yay!
holy shit, I thought he was dead. That jumps into your head. And you hadn't thought about it before, but it comes to you now. That guy should be dead. How is he alive? But
Right.
you are kind of happy to see that.
Yeah.
Now, we're going
As soon as I see him
to.
and that all crosses my mind, a big grin breaks out on my face, and I'm like, "Yay!"
Jimenez, you can make a spot hidden to
Internally.
see if you notice
I'd
them
say
come
I was
in.
about ready to start rolling that
Yeah,
anyway.
go for it.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I okay, it's not a hard success; it's a regular success.
yeah,
So
you see Maggie Connors come in. You recognize her. You know her well enough.
yeah,
You know she can't stand hazard. Were you there when she set him to
yeah.
cleaning barnacles off her boat? I don't remember if you were there or not,
No,
but it
no,
was a good
that
day.
was Tex. I
That
think
was
Tex was
Tex.
there for
So
that.
you have heard that she is not very fond of Mr. Hazard. Um, Actually, speaking of Mr. Hazard, on Wednesday, Mr. Hazard left,
Okay,
and so did Graves. And they left servants. They left a few servants up at the house.
okay.
Um,
Say I would check to see if I'm still employed there, I guess,
yeah,
or should
technically,
I?
yeah. Graves says, yeah, he talks to you. Um, uh, but he doesn't know how much of your services Mr. Hazard will need. But you'll have employment for a few months at least.
Okay,
At least till the end of the year, Graves tells you, for sure.
okay, that's fine. Yeah,
So,
he's fine. He's fine with that then.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
he's
Hazard
a fly
actually,
by the seat of his pants
Hazard,
kind of guy anyway. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Hazard left on the morning on the stage at noon today,
Okay.
heading back to Philadelphia. He needs to get. He said he needed. Well, all you heard from Graves is he needs to get his affairs back in order, and Graves was going with him. So they
Okay.
headed out. So right now, Vero Mansion is kind of abandoned except for servants. A few servants are left up there. Yeah, and you're living up there. So Hutton, you would have found this out too on Wednesday that Hazard left Saltmarsh for now. Um, you know that's going to be a blow to Councilman Jeffrey, who is hoping that Hazard would claim it as his legal residence, which would be a lot more tax money coming into the town. So there's that. Meanwhile, back in Seattle, Shaeder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, things are exactly the same at Fort Townsend, and you had a great night last night in the Dreamlands. You had a few drinks with Wabo Cabo. You met with him, traveled with him a little bit, did some other things. Met a guy named Anid, some big barbarian who was insane when it came to combat. Just chopped people to pieces, or monsters, or whatever that you encountered with him. You traveled with him for a short time. Told you to don't trust kings and sorcerers; they're liars. Um, and Yeah, and then you woke up and you're back in Fort Townsend again. Same
Yeah.
old, same old. Back to your quartermaster duties, and and not there's not many drugs left in your stash, but you are finding the Dreamlands are almost like a The satisfaction of being there almost takes the place of the emotional need for the drugs. The physical need is still kind of gnawing at you. Um, and you go about your duties kind of efficiently yet lackadaisically or unenthusiastically because they're your duties.
Yeah.
And Captain Bancroft notices. Um, where the hell is he? Is that his name? Yeah, Bancroft. And he talks to
Yeah,
you,
that sounds right.
and he asks if there would be someplace else that you would rather be. And he doesn't ask it in a facetious way. It's more of you don't seem happy here. Not surprising.
Well,
This is a boring assignment.
boring, I say, is fine by me.
Yes, but it is exceptionally dull.
Well, that's true.
And and that's what I like. But you've your resume, your military record indicates you're more of a man of action.
I was.
Correct. And
Not
he
so
offers
much.
that if you wish to have it to transfer somewhere, he will try to make it his duty to help you in that regard.
All right,
And
perhaps back to San Francisco at some point.
that could be
Would be all
arranged
right.
if you prefer.
It's worth the consideration. I mean, the truth is, there isn't much to do here, and the truth is, I don't mind that terribly.
That's fine. And if you wish to stay, you may. Of course, it's. But I'm just saying, if you do wish to make a transfer, that I will do everything in my power to help you.
I appreciate that, I really do.
And his offer is kind of a double-edged sword. It's kind of twofold in the fact that
Yep.
he does like you, but he also knows about your addictions. So
Yeah.
he's willing to help you, but when you said San Francisco, he did not say a word, and that stood out very loudly to you. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
Because there's a
Yeah.
lot of drugs down in San Francisco. But he is offering you, he will do his best to help you if you wish to transfer someplace besides Fort Townsend.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'd appreciate that. In the meantime, we may as well make use of what we have here.
Of course.
So, arrange some. I've got us enough supplies coming in that we can afford exercises if you want. And if we should be called upon, we should be prepared for that.
Oh, he's fine with that. You know, he's very like old school military in the fact that the men need to be drilled occasionally,
Yeah.
especially here, because otherwise they're just as bored as everybody else.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, do you want to continue playing Alonzo? Do you want him to join the rest of the party? Because right now, this is mostly focused on Saltmarsh.
Yeah. Now, metagame, the only way
Yes,
I could
metagame.
see him getting up there
Mhm.
is if he's assigned to do something like scout out the area,
Right.
visit potential routes for attack or whatnot. So
Well,
I could find a reason to do that if you want.
yeah. It's either that or you remember Saltmarsh the um, uh, from the dreams and them mentioning where they were
Yeah.
from. Also, Captain Wabo Cabo, when you talked with him the second time that you returned, which apparently it had been a few months since you had been there.
Yep.
When you talked to him, he probably could recommend, well, if you don't like where you are now, find someplace better, or something
Yeah.
like
Well,
that. Some very common sense-ish kind of funny stuff.
point is,
But
there's
make
no
me
fort
diamonds first, diamonds. That kind of
yeah,
thing.
there's no fort or military station up there. The only reason I'd be up there is looking around, doing basically
Right.
a
Well,
topographical or ordnance survey.
you do a little research. You can do a little research. Saltmarsh
Mhm.
is not a port of entry, but they do have excise men there who are part of the Navy. There's a couple of excise men there because they have had a lot of trouble with smugglers. You learn that.
So-
This is also the place you learn that this Confederate ship had been used to smuggle stuff for possibly years, if not months, before it was captured. Um, and you recognize the name as Hutton's from there, and you think Jimenez is from there. And you've run into Miss Eldridge as well. Like, holy crap, out of nowhere.
But if I can find an excuse, then I'll take it.
Okay. Well, you could get assigned there. But you probably have to talk to Bancroft. And if he's willing to help you, he could make an excuse for having an officer assigned up in that part of the country.
Well, that'll give me an excuse to go up there for a bit.
Yeah,
the other thing to do, of course, is to pass the time. Is I also still have a couple of balls and at least one bat. So
yeah, you can always take some baseball stuff and try to arrange a team. The Saltmarsh Sluggers, or whatever you want to call them.
That's what I'm doing at the fort.
Oh, that's you doing at the fort? Okay.
Oh yeah, you got a bunch of bored men to fill up time with.
I think Bancroft meant more like drilling or like maneuvers, army maneuvers out in the field and shit like that.
Oh, of course, that too. But there's nothing. Sports are good for teamwork and good for building all the skills soldiers need.
Well, if you talk to Bancroft about it, he is willing to basically put a man out there. Who could work with the excise men. You won't be in command of them. They're in the Navy, you're in the Army. You're technically outranking them, but for the time being, see if anything's happening out on the West Coast.
If he doesn't need me here and a change of scenery, it'd be all right.
He really doesn't. So he starts getting the paperwork written up, and actually, the next stage is not till next Tuesday.
I'll probably just ride.
Oh yeah, you have a horse, don't you?
If I don't, I'll draw one from the fort.
Yeah, you can draw one. They'll send you a horse and everything like that. Yeah. He says you figure out your route, talk to some of the men. Some of them know that area, and then they don't know that area, but they know the area around Seattle enough that they can tell you the best route to take to get over to Calhoun County. And he says he's going to
over a map with them.
Okay, yeah. The men show you this route that takes you south, and then back up, and then straight across.
Does he go through Burl?
He's going to have to. The only road to Saltmarsh is through Burl.
Oh, and I know what happens after he goes through Burl, who he might run into on the road.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, what were you saying, Kevin?
Any luck interesting people in baseball?
At the fort?
Yeah. I may have to pull rank, and I will.
Give me a social skill. Well, if you're leaving in the next few days...
which is why I need to do this now.
Any social skill, I'll give you. Or a luck check.
Well, if I'm pulling rank, I'll probably use credit rating.
Well, no. You can pull. If you pull rank, you're basically saying, yeah, you guys are playing. This is to see if there's any interest before you have to pull rank. If you get interest, you might actually have some people who want to play without having to pull rank. Well, if you pull rank, they just got to do what you say. They don't.
This is true.
You don't have to make any kind of social skill for that.
And no, that will not do the job.
Okay, so nobody's really interested in this baseball thing. A few of the men have heard of it. It's never going to replace. I don't think there are really any other sports going on at this juncture in the world.
No.
Yeah, no. But the point is, I'm hoping that if they actually are forced to participate, they'll learn to like it, and it'll give them something to do. And frankly, it gives me something to do.
Say there might be a few people interested at first, but not enough to play the game technically.
Well, that's why rank is used here to fill out enough to play the game.
And then,
But do you want to stay and deal with the baseball, or do you want to head on?
Oh, I'm going to do that. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm setting that up so they have something to do while I'm gone.
Okay.
And I really want to encourage the captain to encourage it, because I really do believe that team sports are great camaraderie builders and drill builders for soldiers.
Okay,
which, by the way, is actually something that the Army would generally agree with at this era.
Yeah, give me a persuade check for him. You can give yourself a bonus die.
I'll need it because I don't actually have points in persuade.
Oh, don't you? Okay,
I rarely do any public speaking. I do have points in charm from back in the day.
Charm. But you're more trying to convince him using like the whole camaraderie thing as opposed to like being
logic.
Yeah, it's logic as opposed to like, come on, you're my buddy, let's do this.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It doesn't mean he won't do it. It just
I didn't see what the first roll was.
Failure either way.
okay. So yeah, so you pitch this to him before you leave. You're not sure if he's going to enforce, do it or not, but you tell him where he can get some of the equipment and that kind of stuff. In Seattle, there's places you can get some of this equipment or order it from Sears Roebuck.
I suppose the only way he's getting the equipment is I'm taking it from my own stash.
Yeah, you're taking yours, but there are places like in Seattle where it can be ordered. So you can.
I probably have the only 2 baseballs in Washington State.
Yeah, probably, but it can be ordered. So.
And I might have taken the liberty already of ordering a couple more.
They just show up. What the hell? Where did this come from?
I might have included them.
So, your trip seems rather roundabout, and it's actually going to take you almost. Hold on. Let's see. There's that. It's actually going to take you almost a week to cross, and you realize why pretty quickly, because the road that you were sent down by the couple soldiers who claim they knew the area is a terrible road. It goes up into the mountains, and you're about to give up on it and just go back and try to find another way when you come across a little tiny village, which turns out to be filled with Russian immigrants. It's called Delmunster. It's in the mountains. When you explain to them you're traveling through, you can get a room there's a small inn there, or small hotel. They explain to you that nobody comes down this road. Whoever sent you this way is probably just playing a terrible prank upon you.
Is an idiot, or is an idiot.
You can continue up the road, and that will take you to where you want to go, basically to Port Angeles. Further up the road will take you up to New Dungeness, which is the. But someone sent you on the wrong route. This is not a route you want to take. But these people are all very heavily Russian. They're like second, maybe third generation Russians. They're almost completely cut off from the outside world. It's a tiny little town that's called Delmunster. You can find it on your maps if you look closely at the maps. But it just basically adds a day to your journey, and you go up to port. Yes.
The maps are very blurry.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like this for anybody else, but for me, when I zoom into the maps, I can't read a thing.
Okay.
It's just really tiny for me.
Is there any better map that's like clearer, better resolution, or anything like that? Because I can see the big like counties and stuff like that, but
right, it's
like
probably the small screen you've got too. What you need to do is actually download that map onto your computer, and then you can blow it up a lot bigger.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on.
Good to know.
But don't do it right now, because it will definitely freeze you up.
Right. Sure.
Big
Fair
time.
enough.
Like
I'll try to remember for
if
later.
you click on the map, and then you right click on it. No shit.
Yeah, say
open link.
I was.
Yeah, and if you hit open link, it'll open it in a on the internet. And then if you click on it, it's still pretty small actually. Yeah, you're right. This map should be a higher resolution than that.
I was wondering if it was just like that for me, or if that was for
Say
everyone.
I don't have that big of an issue.
Okay,
It's
hold
just
on,
real
let me see.
tiny. It's not blurry for me though.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Washington
because
Territory. Where's the
being
county?
on a phone is different, obviously. So zooming in, it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
real blurry. Just the small text is like not great. Like I can kind of read it, but
So I have a county
hard.
map here, and I'm
Just
trying
thought
to
I would
figure
bring
out
that
where
up.
the hell ships. Pearl, Delmonster, Delmar, unused. Hold on, just a second.
Not to derail
Aha!
anything.
No, these are not right either. That's not it.
Say, oh well, Yeah, the first one started out a little blurry
Timeline,
for me, but then it got cleared up. So
What is this?
Yeah. I'll download it later on my computer and see if that might
Okay.
work.
Well, no, I have a county map somewhere. I can't frickin' find a soft copy of it.
It's all good. I just figured for the long term,
Here we
if
go.
we're going to use it a lot, it might be a good thing to figure out a way.
Well, I found the Keeper close-up map.
The secrets.
Yeah, it does have secrets. That's okay. You can have the secrets. To be quite honest, the secrets are old secrets that don't matter anymore.
Cool.
Well, they
That
show
works.
stuff like. Oh, there's a close-up map of the locale. I'm just going to give you guys this. I don't think it matters if you see it. If you know where the old Deep One lair is, I don't think it matters because that whole thing has been dealt with. So there is just Clallam and Jefferson County that I just stuck in there. That
That's
should
much
be a lot
better.
closer. Should be a lot closer. Anyway, so
Thank you.
you go through Port Angeles. You go through a town called Burl. And then you find out that the road goes on down to this town called Saltmarsh which is near La Push. And as you're going down that road, you see signs on either side. When you think you're getting pretty close, because you could smell salt air, and on each side there's all these no trespassing signs. The ones on your left are all misspelled. The ones on the right are slightly better spelled, but most of them have a lot of errors in syntax and that kind of thing in them as well. Keep
I was
off.
going to say Port Angeles is spelled wrong.
Pickersgill. No. This is way down. Way down
Yeah.
towards
Port Angeles
Saltmarsh.
is.
That's
not
how.
with an
Yeah,
O,
but
it's with an
yeah,
E.
I know, but that's how they were spelling it because people
Oh.
didn't know any
Okay.
better. These are from atlases. These are. It's like keep off. You'll be shot. No trespassing. No trespassing. And they're on both sides of the road, facing each other. And you do come to spots where there are like ways into the forest on either side, like a trail, off the main road. But the signs are very threatening. There's a lot of bullet holes in the signs too, by the way. And both
So the signs are threatening people who stay on the road or people who
Yeah.
use the trail.
to stay off this property, and it looks like the signs are on the sides of the road, like don't come, don't step
Opposite
off the
sides
road.
of the road.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
sides of the road have these
So,
signs.
so the signs are encouraging one to stay on the road.
Pretty much, that's what your feeling is.
Okay, then I'll stay on the road.
Yeah,
for
make me a spot hidden too as you pass through, riding your horse. You've been riding the horse sometimes. Sometimes you lead the horse to give the horse some time to rest. Typical army
Whoops,
fashion.
over.
Nope,
was-
wrong.
it-
You rolled a d10.
I'm aware.
Yeah, okay.
Is he still in Port Angeles? I
No,
missed
no,
that.
this
No,
is
no.
down close to Saltmarsh. You didn't notice
Yeah.
this because
That's a
you
success.
came by sea. You made a success.
Right.
There is a man on the left of the road, back in the woods. He appears to be armed with a rifle, I think. Let's see what he's got. Yeah, it looks like he's got a big rifle.
Okay.
And he's
is
behind a
he-
tree. You can see the rifle's in his arm, like this, and he's watching you real close. He's got kind of a messed up hat, and he's not real close, so you can't see him real well. But he does appear to be clean shaven, and he's kind of looking your direction. He's back behind all these signs that you've been passing, the bullet hole
Okay.
signs.
I will get down off the horse then
Okay,
and
he's watching you.
proceed basically using the horse for some cover.
Oh, you're going to get on the other side of the horse as you walk past him. Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
He doesn't ever raise his gun. He never does that. He's just watching you real careful. And he sees you watching them most carefully as you approach where the two lanes are that lead into the no trespassing zones. And then as you pass it, he seems to relax a little bit, but he's still watching you.
Well,
And you continue on.
yeah,
And
no need to
and
start
then
a fight with
and
this guy.
then
Or
he's
gal.
out of sight after a little while. You can't see him unless he's following you or something. Uh,
I'll make a
yeah.
note on the map.
Huh?
I'll make a note on the map as to where he
Okay.
is.
Where you think you are is real close. The road then heads south and crosses a river. There's another road that there's a road that goes off to your right. That's definitely road. There's a rough sign that says Seaton, Seaton. You check your map. Yeah, it looks like there's a town up by the reservation, by one of the reservations, the Macaw Reservation up there. It looks like there's a town like right next to it. You're like, how is that legal? And you spot another road that goes off but has no signs on it, and then you cross a river, and then you're kind of coming south, and you see a wall ahead of you. It's like a broken old wall. And you realize it looks familiar, and as you get closer and you go past like an opening in this wall, that this wall has obviously not been used for years, and you see this town ahead of you, and it looks a lot like Wilkesboro as far as layout and where the water is, and this river comes down. If you look in Saltmarsh maps, if you scroll up just up to the top, basically, there is a map of Saltmarsh, and the layout looks very familiar. There's a hill on your right that goes up to some nice houses. As you go down towards a bridge, there's a bridge that crosses this river, and then you end up in like the downtown area, and you spot a hotel, and some people are walking. There's people around, and they look at you a little surprised, probably to see a man in uniform. It is probably the following Tuesday,
Yeah, it took a while.
July 24th, so 7 days on that's the 31st. Does July have 31 days?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably the last day of July. The mosquitoes are terrible. They were not really bad until you got in this area with all these no trespassing signs. You started noticing there's just a lot of mosquitoes, and you realize why is because there's a marsh just inland of this town, and obviously it is a breeding ground for these mosquitoes.
I guess that's where the
Don't
place gets its
die.
name from.
So we're gonna backtrack now, back to Isabella a week ago on Wednesday
Okay.
at
I'll
night.
be back. I'll
Okay.
be back in a moment.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute.
Okay. So a week ago Wednesday, Miss Isabella spotted Jimenez. Jimenez spotted Miss Isabella. Hutton, did you want to be at the saloon that night, or
Yeah,
This
he'd
is-
probably come in for dinner.
okay? It is probably later than that. It's probably closer to like 9 o'clock at night, because
Okay.
it took 14 hours, and they left around 6 a.m. So it's 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Now you could still be there, Hutton,
Yeah.
if you wish.
Okay.
So
He-
after dinner
He
drinks
just
or
he
whatever.
just got done. He just got done clearing out that top room, so he probably stopped in for a beer afterwards.
That was the day before. That was Tuesday that they
Oh,
cleared out
okay,
the top
okay.
room. This is a
Okay.
brand new day. So Douglas McKinnon's on the piano playing along. He's got bright red hair. He's got a bottle on top of the piano and a really, really fucking heavy shot glass. And you've seen him throw those shot glasses before. Apparently, they put them in just for him. The fucking things weigh like 5 pounds, and he like chucks, and he can take a man
probably-
out with one hit.
I probably got a
Um,
shot glass that's kind of like that.
okay.
In all honesty,
They're heavy.
Might as well put it in the gun and have it be a shotgun shot glass.
But I'm bumped. Thank you. She'll be here all
Yeah.
week. Anyway, so Miss Eldridge, you've just come in loaded down
Sorry.
with some canvas. No, with your sketch pads, with your suitcase or it's probably more of a trunk full of your library, and then your suitcase full of clothing. You don't want to put your clothes in with the books.
Sure.
Some of the
Yeah,
books
they're
are
separate.
pretty messed up.
But the books in with the writing and drawing and
Yeah.
anything like
Yeah.
that.
So,
altogether.
and Maggie's helping you carry some of the heavier stuff. There's a boy who rushes up, and he's like, "I can take your bags, ma'am." And
Oh,
uh,
thank you.
are you staying? Are you staying?
Yes, please. I would like a room for the night.
Okay,
Um,
all right.
yes.
He
Thank you.
runs over to the bar. He talks to the man behind the bar. The man behind the bar just points to like a cabinet, and the boy opens it and grabs a key. Uh, and then he motions you to come over. And at the end of the bar,
Okay.
there is a book, and it's got
Okay.
signatures of people who are staying there.
Okay. Right. I'm sure this is familiar to me.
Yeah.
This
You've been to
practice.
hotels before,
So,
so you can sign your
okay.
name. It's not very expensive to stay here. He gives you the key. He helps carry
Okay.
your luggage up to the second floor. It looks like all the rooms are up there. The room is
Um,
stiflingly hot.
I was
Um,
gonna ask him to if he wouldn't mind carrying my stuff up there, while I hang out down here.
oh
I
yes,
mean,
ma'am.
unless that would be weird
Yes,
to
ma'am. No, you
do.
can ask him to do that.
Okay.
So he's going to
Because
struggle a little. He puts the suitcase behind the bar and he starts with the trunk and he's going to take that up. Looks like he's going to make 2 trips. Um,
oh,
yeah, but there's
I'm
mosquitoes
sorry.
in
I can
here.
help you
There's some
if it's too
mosquito.
heavy. I
No,
can
no,
help
no.
you,
You're fine.
but
You're fine. You're fine.
you've got it. Okay.
Yeah, and he's it's a bit
All
of a
right.
struggle. It's a
Be
heavy
careful.
suitcase, but he's being careful, and he heads up.
Delicate folks in there.
Maggie slaps you on the back as if you're a man. Time for that beer.
I like go. Oh. Yes. Thank you so much for the ride, Maggie. I
Warren set
very
her
much
up.
appreciate
She
your
hasn't had
service.
much but some cheese and some bread today. And the man
And
behind the
the
bar
beer I
nods
bought
at
her.
her. And what'd she say? Sorry.
The beer I bought her.
Well, yeah, you're buying her a beer right now. And she's
Right.
telling, and Maggie tells the
Oh,
guy behind the bar to set you up. And so he goes, yeah, you fish okay?
sure.
He goes
Yes.
back and he soon returns with some fish. Maggie gets her 2 beers, and then she sits you down at one of the tables with her. And he brings her food like without even her asking. Uh, it's fried fish, potatoes. There's some green beans on the side. Some kind of vegetable. You're not sure what it is exactly. It might be like greens or something. It doesn't look real familiar. It looks like it's been boiled a
Okay.
lot. Um, Make me a spot hidden, by the way, Miss Eldridge. Hutton, did you stay? Were you staying tonight? Were you
Yeah, he
staying?
stayed.
So you're in there too somewhere, and I totally forgot about you. You meeting at a tavern? Oh boy.
Whiskey. Uh, I don't I don't. Hang on. I don't know.
Your spot hidden's not terrible.
Um,
Um,
I don't think that's a
okay,
success.
so this all happens.
Yeah. Fail.
Hutton, you're back in a corner, brooding. How do I
Probably
handle
writing.
the Wizard Wilkes? Oh yeah, that's a great idea. So you're back in a corner writing when you look up and you notice Maggie Connor has returned. Is it Connor or Connors? And she's got
I thought it was just Connor.
I think it is. She's got Isabella Eldridge, who you recognize from your dreams. Yes, it's just Connor. So Maggie Connor's back.
The woman of your dreams.
Oh,
Technically, yes. They're sitting down to a meal. Warren Blank is coming from behind the bar. He puts a plate in front of both of them. They both have a beer with them. And Maggie's just chatting amicably about Saltmarsh. She's actually curious. Why would you want to come here?
Oh.
You seem like a city
I.
woman.
Well, that's true. I am mostly a city woman, but I have spent quite a bit of time in nature, hunting with the natives and whatnot.
Oh,
Um, but yes. Well, I'm sort of a combination of the two. Anyway, um, and then, but okay, sorry, slightly retro.
hmm
As soon as before I start saying all of that, as soon as she asks that question, I want to like subconsciously look up to the stage or whatever, wherever Fernando's playing,
he's just on the floor
because
next
I
to the
noticed.
piano, pretty much. It's
Yeah,
not really a
I
stage. It's just a part of the room that's kind of been
yeah,
sectioned off.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, when I like subconsciously, I don't even try to, but like I just look at him because I got this big grin on my face as soon as I saw him, and but I didn't want to interrupt,
Yeah.
and so and I don't know if I guess we didn't make eye contact apparently.
No, you haven't made eye contact yet. You noticed her
Okay.
after she saw you.
No, him.
No.
Fernando.
Sorry, for Fernando, he noticed you after you
Oh.
saw him. You saw him like, and you realize, and then Maggie grabs you, and then you're dealing with, getting checked in,
Right.
and Maggie
I
getting
got
food and all this
distracted.
shit, and that's when Fernando noticed you, and that's when Hutton noticed you a little bit after that.
And I was.
Hutton
Yeah,
noticed
so
you
we,
when you were
like,
sitting down to
crossed-
eat. Jimenez noticed
crossed
you
wires.
probably when you were like dealing with the bellboy and having your stuff taken
Mhm.
upstairs. So you
Okay.
haven't made eye
So, yeah.
contact with him yet. So you look over at him,
Okay.
and then you start telling her
Mhm.
this whole thing.
Mhm.
She looks over her
Yeah,
shoulder.
stuff about him.
Oh, she says.
Well, yeah. So I don't want to interrupt. I know he's in the middle of his song, but as soon as he's done, I want to go talk to him because I recognize him. We've met before,
Oh,
and
well, that's nice.
how
Fernando's a
should I
nice.
tell her?
Fernando's a nice fellow. I like him. He doesn't put on airs. I like that. Although his clothes are a little gaudy, you gotta admit. He's wearing a sombrero and this suit that's a Mexican style with a short jacket.
Like a
and
mariachi kind of outfit.
kind of, yeah.
I'm
And it's
imagining.
very
Exactly.
nice. Very nice.
Okay, nice.
Spotless.
That's when he's performing. I think all the other times as he's lived in Saltmarsh, he has probably donned on more
Yeah,
casual
like some blue
clothes,
jeans and
yeah.
a shirt or whatever.
What's I forget, but can I ask what
Denim's not real
Fernando's
popular.
appearance score is, or like
I think he's. Don't ask for a number, but he's good looking,
summary-
right?
a
He's-
summation of not
He's
score,
above.
but-
He's above average.
His picture is in character pics.
Yeah, it should be.
If
Okay.
you scroll up, there he
Because
is.
I'm just
It's the guy
wondering
with
if
the
I should-
guitar, and
Yeah.
that's kind of how he's dressed.
If I should like kind of not tell her
This cat.
about the dream stuff because I don't know her really that well.
Yeah, you don't. You've
Maybe I
been
could
on a
pass
boat
it
with
off
her
as,
for
like,
14
I'm into him
hours,
or
but there
something.
wasn't a lot of conversation. There was some conversation, but it wasn't anything in depth because you'd start talking about something,
personal,
and then
probably.
Maggie would have to go up and adjust a sail or check the course. Mostly, you were inside of the land the entire time that you were on the boat, though, so it wasn't like you were going to get lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not bad looking.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah, he's a
That'll work.
good-looking guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of frame it like that. Like,
Yep.
So
Very
it's like
mariachi style.
it's like a
music,
mariachi
kinda.
style music that's also mixed with this piano playing something completely different that still seems to kind of work with it. That's obviously not Spanish. You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah. I mean, Fernando knows how to play the guitar, so he's able to rip. I'm
Right.
sure they're both professional musicians.
Well,
and they're
Douglas
able to rip
McKinnon
off
is
them.
also Irish, so most of his songs are like
Right.
Irish songs.
but it's like
But
a
somehow-
fusion.
Yeah, it's a fusion, and somehow
Ahead
it
of
works.
its time.
It somehow
Exactly.
it does work. So yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I love
So
it.
So yeah.
Yes, he's a man of the arts, and I am a woman of the arts.
Oh, and so
So,
you followed him here. How
you know.
romantic. That's so romantic.
I
Somebody
don't
laughs
know.
really loud right at the table next to you.
Like they heard that.
And Maggie
just-
glares over at some guy sitting there who's looking at her. And then he's like, oh, and he shuts up real fast.
Wait, so he was eavesdropping?
Yeah, well, it's not hard to eavesdrop. A lot of these tables are pretty close
Oh,
together. And so he obviously overheard your conversation.
I wasn't trying to. Okay. Oh.
She goes,
the
Bill,
point.
you
I
just
wanna
need to
glare at
keep.
him.
Your show is Maggie. You need to keep your mouth shut, Bill. Well, talking about romance,
Private
Maggie,
conversation,
Maggie here's had some romance, Bill. Shut up, or I will break your nose again.
I look at her. Oh? Do tell. I look at her like,
She leans back and kind of to the side in the chair, and then she just kicks Bill's chair, and it just goes sideways, and he just falls to the ground. And he gets up in a huff,
Maggie.
and he's like, "At least I didn't spill my beer." And then he walks over and goes over to the bar.
Get out of here, Bill.
I have not had luck with romance. I've not had any luck.
Oh.
I have lost 5 beaux in the last 5 years.
Oh my. That is
Yes.
tragic.
It is
I'm
tragic.
so sorry.
It is not.
Wow.
It is not something I don't particularly care to talk about it,
Oh,
but
I wouldn't want to pry. But I look at her
some
kind of
people
like,
find it amusing because some of the deaths were rather unusual.
she's listening intently. She like leans in.
Yeah, Maggie stops talking at that juncture.
I'm still staring at her.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna need a
I don't
charm
wanna
or a
make you
persuade.
uncomfortable, but
I'm gonna need a
Oh,
charm or persuade as you say that to get her to open up to
yeah.
you at this juncture.
good call.
Hutton, you're still across the room, so tell me when you make that
Probably
roll or
persuade.
fail it. You're still across the room. She's talking to Maggie Connor, and Fernando's playing up front. The usual assortment of people are here. Ed's over there talking to Mortimer Jeffrey, who looks like Mortimer's giving him like instructions. You know he works for Mortimer. Would you roll a 2? A 2. All right. I guess Maggie opens up to you. Put a check mark next to it.
It's that woman camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Hell
So she
yeah.
tells you that in 1871, a photographer named Steve Whitlock, he was courting her when he was struck by lightning while photographing the church. In 1872, Harry Gilbert was courting her when he was a geologist. He died when he ate tainted potato salad. In 1873, a fisherman named Bruce Potter had a fishing accident and died. In 1874, Glenn Butler, who was a teamster, took a wrong turn and drove his wagon off a cliff. And oh god, there were 6 of them. In 1875,
Oh my God,
Dave McIntyre he
Wait,
was
what
an
was the
artist.
last one?
How what?
Wagon accident.
Yeah, he drove a wagon
I
off
don't
a
know.
cliff.
He made
Took
a wrong turn at
and
Albuquerque.
he drove off a cliff. Dave McIntyre was an artist. Went to Olympic Mountains to paint the sundown. Took a nap and froze to death. And finally, last year, Rick Peterson was a fellow sailor, was struck by a meteor. A shooting star hit him, and he died. So, she's not real happy to talk about this, but she is willing to, as the two of you. Would you use charm or persuade?
Persuade.
Use persuade. Okay. So you have developed kind of a camaraderie with Maggie Connor. She's had a bad run of luck, a very bad run of luck apparently with bows for the past
I make
6
note
years.
of that to her. I tell her that is the worst luck I've ever heard of someone having. How is that even possible?
I don't know. I guess I know how to pick them.
It sounds like you're cursed or something.
That's what they say around here, that I'm cursed.
That is terrifying,
Well,
and I'm kind of
It
scared
is.
for you.
She's eating. She's been eating while she's been talking again. You know what I mean? Like she
yeah.
doesn't. She just eats well. She's obviously very hungry. All you had were sandwiches, essentially cheese sandwiches on the boat today, because she doesn't pack a lot of food, and cheese is good and dry so that it won't make anybody sick. Fernando finishes up his little set.
Oh, I kind of figure at some point I think I'm going to start mingling around and just
Yeah,
walking
you can do
around
that.
as I'm
You
playing
can
my
mingle
guitar. So
Okay, so you want to walk over to them?
yeah, at some point in time, and just play next to their table at some
Okay.
point in time and
Nice.
schmooze it up a little bit.
So you got this story before he came over to schmooze it up a little
Okay.
bit, okay?
Yeah.
Good,
And she
because that
said
was
it-
a riveting story.
She said it pretty quietly. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So Fernando comes up at this point, I
Yes.
guess.
He's just playing, but he's definitely making notice that he noticed you come in at some point in time. But then he'll go back or whatever at some point in time, and whenever they
I
take a break or
kinda-
whatever, whenever they
I
take a break a
kinda
little bit, he'll go
wanna-
over to talk.
Okay, so he walks by and lets her know he knows she's there as he's playing, and then he
Yeah.
keeps. And then a little bit later, he comes back to talk to you.
I kind of want to jump up and give him a hug.
That will
Like-
stop his playing the guitar. You know that,
Dang it.
because you can't hug somebody who's playing a guitar, and they will be able to continue
like from
playing
the
a
side
guitar.
or something.
You can try, but there's a good chance it's
He
gonna
might-
throw him.
He might kind of notice, but just like just kind of tip his head at her or whatever. Just sort of gentlemanly and just but still, like, keep on playing.
Maggie
'cause
gives you a big
he wa-
smile. She likes Fernando.
Okay. Something
Hutton-
like that happens, I guess.
remains skulking in the corner.
I wanted
No,
it to
I'm just
happen
waiting
like
for
without.
a chance to talk.
Okay. Yeah, interrupt.
Well.
Come on. If you want to
Uh,
get up and
he's-
walk over and say hello.
Yeah, he'll close up his journal that he's been writing in, grab his drink, and walk towards the table.
What's he drinking?
A beer.
Okay. Yeah,
And all of a sudden-
you see Loren Hutton approach, probably about the same time Jimenez does, because that'll simplify things a little bit. The second
Okay.
time, when Jimenez comes back without the guitar, as they're taking a little bit of a break.
Okay. Do I recognize him immediately, like I did with Fernando,
Oh, good question.
or
Does Hutton look almost the same as
I
he
mean,
did
except
in
for the
Dreamlands?
clothing, but yeah.
Yeah, you recognize him then.
Well, in the Dreamlands, he didn't have glasses on.
Oh yeah, he's wearing glasses.
okay?
So you don't recognize him. It's a Superman complex.
Right.
No, you recognize him. He's wearing little tiny
Okay,
wire-rimmed
gotcha.
glasses, probably. I think in that picture is what he's got.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She also breaks
shit.
into,
I'll be right
into
back.
a
You
grin
guys-
at seeing Hutton.
Yeah, you guys do a little role play. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah.
Miss Eldridge, it's surprising to see you.
Yes,
oh,
it is.
Loren! Big hug. I give you a hug.
Oh, hug.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
I actually just sent a letter to Seattle for you.
Oh, well, I guess it missed me because I'm here
Yeah.
now.
I also sent one for Mr. Shaeder.
Mr. Shaeder, yes. I actually ran into him yesterday as well. Randomly, very coincidentally, we met at this restaurant where Maggie was, where I met Maggie actually, and we had a conversation. I told him I was coming here, and that I would send word by post to him about whatever happens.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is good to see you both.
Finally, and then I give him a big
Yeah.
hug too. I wanted to give you a hug earlier, but you seem
Yes,
busy.
I was. I have to earn my living here, so
Right,
I can't just conjure it up here. So
right, yes, and how skilled you are at it. Very, very lovely job. I love
Why, thank
the fusion of different cultural styles you have going with your pianist.
well, we are professionals.
Certainly, I can tell. So how have you two been since
You look over
I
and
think
see
she
the
just
pianist
trailed off.
is really just dumping some
Down
whiskey
in his
down.
beer.
Yeah. No, he's drinking whiskey.
Oh, he's drinking whiskey. Oh, I might make a slight sigh at that, like, oh, I hope this isn't going to be one of those nights.
Depends on who insults him or gets too close to his piano.
I know. That's what he's saying. That's pretty much what he's going through his head right now.
It's I spoke with my boss here. I work for the local paper.
Right.
Other than that, I've been just trying to write down everything I can remember, which seems to be most everything.
Oh. I've tried as well, but I really only got a few core details. I remembered all of you, but not a whole lot else, sadly.
Sadly, my trip was cut short. No,
Yes.
no pun intended. Cut short.
Are you-
You're
are you
muted,
sure?
Andy.
Maggie
Yeah.
excuses herself. As
Okay.
obviously it's a private conversation.
Oh,
Okay. Oh.
that's true.
Sorry,
I did forget for a second that Maggie was there.
Mhm.
um,
She goes over to talk to
Oh.
Ed.
And it rumor in town is that Mr. Hazard has left town.
Oh.
Yes.
He awoke sometime between Jimenez and I.
Actually, Sean, that is the truth. You know that's the truth. That's
Okay.
going to be in the paper tomorrow.
Okay.
The Hazard is heading back for Philadelphia.
Oh, I wonder why. That's
Hey.
strange.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think Jimenez or I got to speak with him at all before he left town. So I'm not sure what ended up for him in the Dreamlands.
Yes.
Oh,
curious for him.
I think Fernando's smart enough. He might put two and two together. Well, I wonder if it had anything to do with the Seacoast and his involvement with that.
The what?
The Confederate ship we found that was smuggling goods here in Saltmarsh. But
Oh.
his isn't his factories in the South for his guns? But obviously his home is in the North, in Philadelphia.
Is this in character?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. This is all in character.
So,
I do not remember the details, but just from what I've gathered from living with him for the time that I have. However, me and the staff up at his manor on the coast are left alone.
Really?
So,
Place to-
perhaps while the gato is away, the mice will play.
Well,
Pussy gato.
that sounds like fun, I suppose.
He probably wouldn't say mice if I say gato, but I couldn't think of the Spanish word for mice.
Pussy
I
gato.
don't know.
Miso.
Mice. Oh,
But I remembered the Spanish word for cat.
Yeah.
because of
Same.
Warner Brothers.
It is raton.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Mr. Hutton, were you going to say something?
Well, it's I have an idea. We didn't really get a chance to discuss why I chose to wake up.
Oh, right. Wait, how much do I
Oh, wait.
remember, Andy, of that?
Not much. Actually, the
Dude,
only
but-
one who probably remembers that, Hutton, is Shaeder.
Yeah.
You might want to wait for that conversation
Okay.
Um,
So,
to
yeah,
see
I
if he
don't
writes you
remember.
back, and then maybe you can write him a letter, and you guys
Yeah.
can have a nice little.
it's
Okay.
and it might be best to not discuss those things here.
I don't. Well, I don't remember much. I don't even remember exiting the dream world or any of us.
I'm gonna open my journal to where I started writing, and just slide it across to her.
Oh, there's the story.
Cool.
There's the whole story.
Great.
So
How long does it take me to read it?
it'll probably take you a while. It's already late.
Uh,
You're exhausted. You've
okay.
been traveling for 14 hours.
You were on a
Yeah.
boat
For
for like
14 hours,
14
yeah.
hours.
okay.
So, it'll
Mr.
probably be
Hutton,
something.
Could I borrow this overnight or? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Great,
no
thank
issue.
you.
I trust you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's well, it's been a long boat ride, and I am kind of exhausted, but well, it's almost like a bedtime story, I suppose. I could read some of it tonight. Some when I wake up, perhaps,
Yeah.
and then maybe we could meet tomorrow for breakfast or lunch or something. Unless you
That
have
would be
anything.
that would be nice.
Okay. Great. Here or somewhere else? Haven't really seen much of the town yet.
It's actually going to probably take you a while to read it. His handwriting is not great.
Actually, his handwriting's good.
Yeah, but you were writing this one really fast. You're trying to get
okay.
everything on the page, so it's probably going to take you until Kevin gets there, because I'd like to get him back in the game before we have any more extensive role playing. You could say this, you could still have this conversation, and then you sit down that night and you're kind of struggling, because obviously he's writing as fast as he can to try to get every detail that he can down.
Well,
and you're realizing you're having difficulty.
Moment, I guess we could say I kind of flipped back to look at how much is there and whatnot, and the handwriting, and maybe I kind of took note of that.
Yeah,
and
you
was
could do that.
Well, maybe we should meet for lunch instead of breakfast, so I have some time. Does that work?
I can.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's going to take you longer than tomorrow before you'll be able to work your way through this thing. It's full. This notebook is full. This, whatever you call these kind of like
journal.
books. Yeah, it's like a big journal, and he's written.
Okay.
We're going to say that he's written in as much detail as I wrote the role-playing journals, except some of the conversations are probably not as quite as detailed between people. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's probably
this is like 100 pages.
And he's probably tried to draw like quick.
Yeah, there's little drawings in it too. The river with the splashing water. He wrote it so fast because he's just been like, look, whatever. I would like to get Kevin back in the game. And if you guys meet every single day and have conversations every single day before he gets there, he's not going to get to play anymore tonight. So, it's going to take you several days to read it. You're also going to have to kind of get settled in. Loren's got a job, so he's not available all the time. He's doing interviews.
Fernando will offer to show her around town.
You can do that. You can show her around town
or whatever.
Several days pass. The mosquitoes are terrible. One thing about the hotel is there is mosquito netting on the beds, hanging down from the ceiling. There's mosquito netting. Hutton, you've probably managed to get some. There's been a lot of people buying mosquito netting this year from the general store, and they've been ordering a lot of it from Sears Roebuck, just because the mosquitoes have been so bad this year. So it's been pretty miserable. Plus, people are getting sick from mosquito bites. You find that out. Again, a lot of people are going up to this clinic you learn about, Miss Eldridge. It's about 2 miles from town, up in the swamp, that is run by a Catholic priest, is what you kind of put together from rumors. And he came to town a few months ago.
It's a what?
A Catholic priest is running it.
No, it's running what?
A clinic. There's
clinic,
like a clinic out in the swamp.
In the swamp.
Yeah. A little ways away from town. And you find out that too. There's been a couple deaths. Some people have died over the summer. A woman and a man have died from these, either from the bites or from something in the bites, which is weird. You've never really heard of anything quite like that before. Yeah, a woman and a man. A young woman and a slightly older man who's worked at the fishery.
I'm just thinking of things that didn't happen with this character, so that's.
And then each of the three of you can make me a luck check.
Oh,
by the way, somebody else dies on the 30th of July.
Was it Fernando?
A fisherman named Ollie Archer got the same thing. Went up to the clinic, and then word came back from the clinic he had died.
You want a luck check from all of us?
Yeah, luck check from all of you.
Are all these people dying going to the clinic?
No, there's a lot of people going up there that are treated, and they're
come
fine,
back
and they come
fine.
back. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's been dozens of people. A lot more people are going up to this clinic now than are going to Dr. Davis, who's the local doctor.
Gotcha.
Now, a lot of the Negroes in town are still going to Dr. Davis because he is a Negro.
Right.
But some are actually going up to the clinic too, because Dr. Davis doesn't really seem to have. He doesn't know what exactly to do. He can't identify this thing.
Right.
Who made a luck check?
I did not.
Okay.
I think it's a hard success.
Hard success. How did
32
Hutton
out of
do?
65.
Oh, for me, that was an extreme success.
Okay. So Isabella and Hutton are somewhere on Main Street when a military man rides into town on Tuesday, the 31st of July, the day after the death of the third death from these, apparently from insect bites, or some poison or disease in the insect bites. It's from what you understand, Dr. Tavis can't nail it down. And you recognize Alonzo. You recognize him from Seattle, Miss Eldridge. Hutton, you recognize Alonzo Shaeder. He must have gotten your letter. Man, he got here quick. From the Dreamlands. No, all the letters bypass the people coming here, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
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 He did
You
not
just
get
waited
it.
a day
No.
or two.
But yeah, he must
By
have
the
got
way-
your letter.
Oh, well.
Andy, just so you know,
Yeah.
Sears Roebuck wasn't incorporated until 1892.
Ah, shit. Okay, it's not Sears Roebuck then. There's another company. I've got some of their catalogs. They're real small. They're like this big. But I can't remember what the
What?
name of it is.
First
off
of
the
them, I
top.
think, might be Montgomery Ward.
Yes, I bet it's Montgomery Ward.
But I don't remember when they first.
Hold on.
Let me look that up. This is going to bug me. Oh, they
Very
still exist,
minuscule
apparently.
details.
Oh, apparently they still
I-
exist.
No, I know Andy has them. So
1872 for Montgomery Ward. But they did not do mail order yet.
That makes sense. Pretty early in history.
Yeah. Well, they started with
yeah,
mail
no.
order.
I
They
mean,
started with mail
how
order
else are
early
they
on,
going to get
but you couldn't-
things?
you
You're going to
couldn't-
make me get my magic case out.
don't worry about it.
I am curious to see this thing,
Atlas.
especially if it's really that old. I imagine not.
I don't-
Because the thing is,
1800s old.
rural delivery didn't come along till 1893. So up until then, if you didn't live in a city, you had to go to the post office to get your mail.
Right.
It's kind of surprisingly early.
Hmm.
To me, at least.
It's not in there
That's
either.
one thing. That is actually one thing that Shaeder doesn't have to deal with, because the Army postal system is actually not bad.
Yeah.
Of course not. The military always gets everything first. So it always has been, probably always will be.
Well, like for instance,
You're
during
kind
the
of
Civil
the
War,
Hold
you
on.
could buy pre-stamped envelopes from from sellers, usually the so-called vivandere, which means you didn't have to carry postage stamps. And a lot of them also came pre-printed. They've got an image and a postage stamp printed on them.
Candy cigarettes.
Nice.
I used to make those available to my players if they wanted their
Oh, we use
character
them.
to be a smoker.
We use them for LARPs all the time.
Right. Aha! Ha ha ha! Montgomery Ward and Company.
Yep, that's the one I was thinking of.
Spring and Summer, 1875. I have
Yep.
2 copies of this for some reason. Oh, I ordered it and it came in a pair. I don't know if this is an original or if these are reprints, though. I have no idea. But they look
Yeah, they're small.
Is that
They're
a little
very
like,
small.
booklet thing?
Yep.
Oh.
very small. There's drawings inside of some of the stuff you can order.
Yeah,
Catalog
That's
from-
fun.
by the way, that size publication that you're holding there
Yes.
is the same size as Shader's Beatles Dime baseball. Player.
Oh, is it this small? I
Yeah,
downloaded
came in a booklet like that.
I downloaded a PDF of it, and it looked like I thought it was going to be like a decent sized book because it looks big in the PDF. I mean, obviously it's
Yeah,
not.
no, a lot
but
of them were printed small to save paper and shipping.
we ship goods by freight only upon orders stamped with the seal of the Grange and signed by the secretary or master. So that's probably who you've been ordering, who you can order things
So
through.
It's just like a catalog of
Yeah,
like
it's a tiny
stuff you
catalog
can
of
buy for
yeah,
delivery?
ivory handled silk
Yeah.
fan with feathers for 75
Yeah, they're-
cents.
They
There's some
offer limited. They offer limited, but nice stuff.
yeah.
By the way, the
Well-
Sears catalog offered all sorts
Yeah.
of things. And fun fact:
Pretty
the
good.
1893 Sears catalog
Buggies and
offered among other
wagons.
things. Yep.
Whoa.
My favorite: a preloaded syringe of cocaine. For $1.50.
Sears Roebuck did?
So, literally.
1893 cost
That's
$1.50.
hilarious. I knew it was in here.
Enough liquid cocaine to get you high all night.
Hooray! Anyway,
All
so
right.
sorry
You
for
could
the
buy,
delay,
you could buy it
everyone.
from Sears.
So it wasn't Sears
Well-
Roebuck; it was all Montgomery Ward at this
Listen,
time period,
It's an injectable, so
because we're not quite in the Victorian, or we're not in the late Victorian like a lot of these things are. Anyway,
When did the Victorian era start?
well, it started earlier on, but it ends
1830.
around 1901, I think.
1838 to 1901.
hmm
Oh wow. Okay.
But most
Yeah, no,
when I think of the Victorian era, I think of the 1880s or 1890s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what feels like Sherlock Holmes-ish, or like
Yeah.
Gaslight.
Right.
But we're a little
But
before
And
that,
also Penny
but
Dreadful.
Victoria came
Yeah.
to the throne at the age of 18.
right?
That's how she lasted so long.
But
If you guys haven't seen Penny Dreadful, you should watch it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, that was so good.
fantastic.
I
I
picked
agree.
1877 because it's closer to the Civil War, so people could be involved in the war if they wanted to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for the delay. So, yes, the two of you see Alonzo Shaeder riding down the street, getting several looks from people who are obviously not used to a military man. Fully with what do you have a rifle too?
Yes.
Okay,
I
with
have I have a saber on one hip, a
saber-
revolver,
a
and a flap
revolver.
holster on the other,
right.
and a rifle in a saddlebag.
Well, it's in a sheath, right on the saddle.
Yeah.
So, an armed military man, which is kind of surprising. Um, which is unusual. Well, you have seen some Navy men here before. Those who were here when the Navy ship came to take away the Confederate blockade runner. But this is the first soldier you've seen. Yeah. So where do you want to go, Shaeder? You've got a livery stable, saloon. You've got an hotel. You've got blacksmith downtown, and a few other businesses. There's a haberdashery.
Let's find, I have a nice hat. Oh, I do. I secured for myself somewhere along the line the 1858 model.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
very attached
style.
to that hat.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice hat. He's probably. Let's see what the weather's doing today. It is raining again. That's holding off the
Yeah, I have a
mosquitoes
nice
a
hat.
little bit.
Nice.
He's got like a cloak, kind of.
It's Washington. You should know better than the rest of
July in
us.
Washington is not. It doesn't
Okay.
rain in.
It's
for the
raining
most
right.
part,
It's
almost
raining right
ever in
now.
July.
It's raining.
Just
So he's also got like a slicker on, that kind of thing. Obviously, also issued by the army.
Actually,
Saddlebags.
Some of this stuff is similar to what I was using in the Dreamlands.
Yeah.
Like for instance, the overcoat I'm wearing is basically similar to the tarp I was using at one point in
Right.
Dreamlands.
So he's coming through, and I don't know where you want to go, Kevin.
I'm starting with the excise yard. Check in there.
Okay, you ask a few people, and they're like confused. Excise yard. He means the Stoutleys. Yeah. They point you down the street. There is a house down by the water. Let me check my map here.
We want to talk to them first, then find a room.
Let's see. What's the number of the? That's Maggie Connors. I think it's right next door. 52. Yes. Okay. So I don't think your map. I need to put an updated map. It is down the street. Actually, it's just off that. You're recognizing Saltmarsh as Wilkesboro as well. The layout's the same. The buildings look different, but they also remind you of the buildings. It's a little disconcerting.
They would.
You pass the. You actually have to take a right at the end of Main Street and head towards what's River Street, and you realize that this building, it's a 2-story building, and it just says excise over the door, and it looks like somebody's house too. And you realize that's the same dock where the Wraith had been in Wilkesboro, had been docked in Wilkesboro. There's a sloop there. There is a sloop. It looks like it's all tied down and battened up against the weather. And when you knock at the door, it's answered by a young man who seems surprised to see a man in uniform, and he salutes you like out of habit or maybe fear. Like, oh, he says, Will, somebody, there's a military man here, and you end up meeting Corporal Will Stoutley and Private Tom Stoutley, who are brothers. Um, and this is the extent of the excise
Okay.
department here. It's a two-story house, and the lower is mostly storage, but there's really nothing in there. And then there's steps up to an upper floor that's basically two rooms, and there's some bunks in there. Um,
Okay. Well,
and
these are the guys I came to talk to first. So
yeah, yeah.
step
So
one
they
is
get your
that.
information. They
Yep.
tell you there's really not a lot going on. There was some smuggling early this year, and they've been put in charge of seeing that smuggling is stopped by the United States Navy. Um,
Good.
and they draw a paycheck from the Navy, but then they also do some odd jobs around town. They're very friendly, very nice young men. Um,
Good.
they tell you about these smugglers that were working out of the mansion up on the hill, and that some fellows from town actually managed to get their ship, and it turned out to be, you probably read it in the papers, and they managed to get their ship, which was actually it was a Confederate blockade runner, the Mississippi. That's what was on the side of it, Mississippi. And you remember from the war, the Mississippi disappeared in 1863. It was a blockade runner that ran for a couple years and then just kind of vanished. Nobody knows what happened to it. It was assumed destroyed, or maybe it got caught in a storm or something, but it just disappeared.
Well, apparently turned up here.
Yes, several
Okay.
years later. So, yeah, they're telling you the story about these fellas and how they got. Oh, Mr. Hutton was one of those fellas. He almost got his leg chopped off when he took it. He works for the paper and that kind of thing. Now, Hutton, you and Eldridge saw him come into town.
Yep.
You were in the middle of an interview, Hutton. You
Okay.
were actually talking. You were trying to get an obituary together, so you were talking to some people about this Archer fellow that just died yesterday, because
Okay.
that's going to go in the paper in 2 days, and Cunningham assigned that to you. It's just going to be a short obituary to put in the paper.
Yeah.
And then Miss Eldridge, you're muted, by the way. Okay, great. And
You don't have to let me know. I know.
okay. Well, sometimes I mess up all the time.
If I start talking,
Okay.
obviously,
So,
you can let me know. But
Miss
otherwise,
Eldridge,
no worries.
you were also trapped in a conversation with one of the local ladies. Um,
Okay.
it was just a polite conversation, but for you to break away just to go talk to him immediately would have been extremely rude. She was telling you that Miss Trudy's
Oh.
school is not a place for nice ladies.
What do I know?
She's
This
giving you
Miss
this.
Trudy school?
Oh, Miss Trudy's school. She
Where is
says
it?
it's down on the map. It's number 20. Let's see. It is right
Wait, I've
about.
got it.
It's right about here. If there, some of these are numbered and some of them aren't. I don't know how up to date I've got the
This
layest
one
map.
This one
Um,
is number.
It's central. It's a blue building. It's a very big blue building, and she tells you those are women of ill repute.
I don't even see 20 on this map at all.
Here
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
I see it.
Do you see it?
Yep,
That's so weird.
that's a big blue building.
Right
In
there?
the middle. Oh,
Yeah,
there it is.
it's towards the
Okay,
middle.
Sorry. Oh, what do you mean ill repute?
What they are?
In what way?
Ladies of the evening.
In the school? Wait, this is a
Yes,
schoolhouse?
it's a schoolhouse
children?
and a boarding house. No, it's a school. It's like oh crap.
Oh,
What they call the
boarding.
older person school? They used to call them it's not children. No, it's a school for ladies. But it's also
Oh, like a finishing school
Yes.
or
yes,
etiquette.
yes, a
school,
finishing
something
school.
like that.
Well, they teach you find out they teach like sewing and other crafts in order for
Correct.
ladies to make their
Yes.
way in the world. But
Homemaking.
they're also doing other things, like having parties with
Oh,
the
my.
minors downstairs. Yes, it's very scandalous. You're still at the hotel at this
Very
point.
scandalous.
This lady's obviously a busybody of some kind and thinks it's a terrible thing.
Isabella's just
Terrible
playing
thing.
along.
Terrible. That's fine. But you were trapped in this conversation, and if you
Right.
break off, that's going to potentially hurt your reputation with certain types of people in town or whatever. But it would be
Okay.
rude if you had broken off. But you do see him go down the street and to the right.
Yeah, I look.
And you don't really remember Wilkesboro. You remember basics of it, but not anything. Anyway, so Alonzo, you've met these guys. They mentioned Mr. Hutton almost getting himself, got his leg cut off almost. They tell you about
Ow.
there's this like there's this grotto under the house, and there was this way up into the house from there apparently or something. They didn't get to see very much of it, but
But
now
he
people
knew.
now people are dying from these mosquitoes, but we haven't had any problems because we always have a breeze every night blowing inland, keeps them away. As the rain comes down outside,
Hmm.
lightly. So
Well, I'll take this all in.
okay,
You know, fill them in on what little I have to report, which is basically nothing, other than that I'm here to
you didn't
basically take the lay of the land.
you rode here. You didn't run afoul of the Pickersgills or the Baldries, did you?
I don't know either one of them actually.
Well, you can't miss them. They got all kinds of stay out, no trespassing. You will be shot if you let step foot on our property. Live across the road
Oh.
from each other. They're feuding. They've been feuding for a long time. I don't even know how long.
Okay, I saw one man
Oh,
by those signs with
which?
a rifle.
Well, oh yeah. Well, they usually won't unless somebody steps on their property. They usually won't shoot them. Although they have been known to rob people. Although there's no proof because
Well,
they don't find the bodies.
he he was he was in a firing position, but he didn't offer any threat,
Oh,
so I went past.
oh, good, good. That's good. That's good, sir. They better not mess with the federal government. That could be bad for them all. So they make light conversation with you about this, and they kind of give you some warnings. Do
Okay.
not go to Pickersgill's property. Do not go on the Baldry property. And the mosquitoes are really bad, and
So,
people are dying.
so those two families hate each other, and they live on opposite sides of a road.
Yes, and they apparently hate everybody else too, or something is happening.
Hatfield
I'm a-
McCoy situation.
Kind of.
I'm a little surprised he didn't take a shot at a man in a
In a union uniform, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's
Sounds
more
risky
trouble
to
than
me,
it's
extra
worth.
risky.
Yeah, they
Not
they
if
said
you know those people like I know them.
they say well, there's the Baldries. They were part of these men that went to the haunted house last
Oh,
spring, and two of them died.
They are
They got
down a
hired
few
on,
men.
so they're down a few men. But there's this new fella that came in, one of their cousins or something. Oh, what is his name? He comes into town and causes trouble all the time. Oh, I don't know if I can remember his name. It's like a fish or something like bass. No, it's trout. Ernest C. Trout is what he calls himself. He's dangerous. He is crazy. So if you see a little man in kind of a hat with a bill, and he's real dirty, and he talks in rhymes sometimes, just stay clear of him. He's a dangerous fella. They're warning you about all the dangerous people in town. There aren't a whole
Well,
lot.
the fellow I saw wasn't dirty and didn't have a
No.
strange looking hat.
Yeah, you don't think that this was the same guy. Yeah, watch out for him.
Hold
He's
on a sec.
crazy.
Not a hat like this one. I'll fish in my bag and find my cap.
No, not exactly like that one.
Okay, good.
It's got a bill, but it's a little more. He tries to describe it, but he has a hard time. These are pretty young fellas, and they don't articulate
So
extremely well.
more like a forage cap.
Yeah, I think so. Probably, yeah. So just um, keep an eye out. They don't do anything they can get caught at, and so they haven't been arrested. And they're dangerous folk, but they generally
Well, I
leave
suppose,
people alone.
well, I suppose if this fellow comes to town and causes trouble. Well, wait, is there a sheriff here?
There's a marshal, yes sir. There's a marshal and two
Marshal.
deputies.
Okay, so
Yep.
this
If
fellow
it's
does
just right
cause
up the
town
road,
and
you can
cause
see
trouble.
it's next to the bank. The marshal's office burnt down. Burnt down a few months ago. There was a crazy fire. It was like people lit it. I think they were trying to kill some of them Indians that was in there. Strange looking Indians. Didn't like the look of them at all. And then that's when
Hold on,
the
wait.
Confederates escaped. That's when they. I'm sorry.
Indians were hiding in the marshal's office.
No, they were locked up. They were working up
They've
with
been
the
arrested.
smugglers. They were working with the smugglers, and they caught them and brought them back and locked them up. But I think the Quaalude didn't like them. There was the Quaalude wanted them. The Quaalude sent people to town council and said, "You're gonna hand them over to us." And the town council says, "No, we're not." And then there was a fire shortly after that burnt down the marshal's office. They saved that parrot though. There was a parrot in there, and the Confederates all escaped that night. Every single one of them.
Too bad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so you have this conversation. They're filling you on some local gossip and that kind of stuff about this town.
I'll also
Um,
find out from them where I can find a place to stay.
they suggest the hotel. There is also um, there are a couple boarding houses. One of Will nudges. They're obviously brothers. Will nudges Tom, and he's like, "Miss Trudy's," and he says, "No, no, no, not Miss Trudy's. You never get any sleep at all. Um, you could stay here if you want. We have an extra cot." But they basically tell you there's Jenkins boarding house, and they give you instructions there. There is Mercy Danforth's boarding house. She got a lot of rules about non-fraternization, and what time you can come in. She locks her door at dark, that kind of thing. Um, but actually, Miss Trudy, he can't go to Miss Trudy's. There's only women that can stay there. He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I wonder why.
I can think I can figure that one out.
Yeah, you could put two and two together. So the main two
Yeah.
boarding houses in town are Jenkins and Danforth. There's also the hotel and saloon, or you might be able to rent a house in town if you want a whole house. And of course,
The
you can always keep receipts and then be reimbursed by the federal government
Yeah.
for that.
Hotel
Um,
should be fine.
Okay,
Also,
they give you instructions. You pass it on Main Street. You recognize where it is, and there's a livery stable right next door.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
my wealth level is a minimum. I can spend $25 a day without dipping into anything anyway.
oh wow, okay, yeah.
So,
So there's no way you're not going to have to worry about keeping track of that.
yeah.
And if you keep
Not
yours
to mention, I'm gonna build the army for
right,
most of it anyway.
yeah. So you'll be getting that cash back. Now keep in mind, you did not see any telephone poles coming here. There's no telegraph in this town.
I
Whatever
was not
money
surprised
you
to see
have in
that.
cash is the only money you have with you. You can always send a letter to have more actual cash sent, but or otherwise you're going to
A
have to
lot,
get a loan from
a
a
lot of
bank.
a lot of places here I can probably work on credit as well,
hmm
since the army is going to reimburse
You can get credit
much of this.
up to a point, and that kind of thing. And the longer you're here, the
Yeah.
more likely you'll be able to get better credit as you get to know the people too.
Yeah. So for the moment, though, I think I'll go to the hotel
Okay.
and secure a room and a place to board my horse.
Yeah, there's a livery stable right next door to the hotel.
Okay.
And you head out. Now, meanwhile, Miss Eldridge has managed to escape from this busybody lady. We should name her. I think I need a picture of her too.
I
I
thought
feel
you
like
had
can I name
someone
her?
like that.
I've got
yeah, you can name her.
I've got two ideas.
Hold on.
Priscilla or Carmilla.
I like Priscilla.
Yep.
Priscilla what?
Okay.
What's her last name?
Oh shit. Priscilla.
Mercy Danforth is kind of like that, Aaron, but she's too old. This is a little younger name.
I don't know. I can't think of it. Hang on.
Williams Tate. Scut. Scut Farkas. That's what I'm
I was
thinking.
thinking something with 3 syllables for some reason.
Priscilla
Did
Livingston.
we already say Dansworth? Is that
Yeah,
is that her name
Dansworth
already?
is Mercy Danforth. Mercy
I
Danforth
knew it.
is a
I knew I
lady
got that from somewhere.
who has the very strict
Uh,
boarding house. Think on it, and before the end of the evening, if you think of something good, you can give it to me, or else I'll think of something.
Okay.
Hutton, you and Eldridge did see Shaeder ride into town. You're finishing up, and she has escaped from this Priscilla Cunningham. No, that one's been used too. As you see him, are you walking your horse back up to the livery stables? Or are you riding?
I'll ride back.
Riding back up Main Street towards in the direction of the Saloon and Hotel. You pass the haberdashery. There is a barber and it says barber dentist on the street, so you see that exists as well.
Okay.
That's
It's
right
probably
down
just
there.
a barber pole, in all honesty. But
No, he's got it written on the front window.
okay,
Uh, there's a
Does
general
he have a barber
store.
pole too, though?
Yeah, he does have a barber pole too. There's a general store is across from the hotel, and there is also a note that there is a post office in the general store. Um, the Saltmarsh Gazette you pass going down Main Street.
I've
Um,
mentioned that a couple of times.
yeah, so you definitely see that.
And the brothers mentioned that Hutton works there.
Yes. And then down a side street on the corner of Main Street is the Saltmarsh Bank, and it's a very sturdy structure. So those are some of the things that you noticed as you go back to the saloon. You can make me a spot hidden to see if you know Loren Hutton and Miss Eldridge.
Okay, hold on.
I've got it. I've got a last name.
All right, what's the last name?
I'm actually not sure how to spell this, but Leroux,
LaRoe?
like French.
Lerow.
No.
No.
It would probably be
It's-
L-E.
Oh,
definitely-
Leroit.
No.
No.
Or no,
It's
probably
French.
Laroux.
I was thinking Lereaux.
EAUX works too.
Yeah, that works. I'll
E-
write it down.
EAUX.
Hold on.
Yeah.
L-A?
Either an LE or an LA.
R
Probably gonna be
that,
the
that,
next.
that EAUX spelling.
E-A-U-X.
What you said,
Yeah.
Aaron, what you said would be like LaRue.
Is it
Yeah.
L-A
Something
or
LaRoe.
L-E?
Laurent. Yeah.
L-A or L-E?
Either way.
I was thinking LE.
Then it's L-E. No, I let her make up the name so she gets to do what she wants.
That's what I
L-E-R.
said. Either way would work.
REAUX.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
By
yeah.
the way, it's a
that-
popular thing in New Orleans. People who support Louisiana State University
Yeah.
sometimes carry signs that read "Go
Yeah,
Tigers" with "Go" spelled Geaux.
Yeah. That's
Oh my
exactly
god.
what
That's...
It's French.
The only reason I
Alright,
said
alright.
that is because my grandmother's maiden name
Is Leroux?
was Lero. They pronounced it Lero.
Yeah, because
and it was
Northwest Ohio.
Interesting.
Leroit.
That's interesting. Okay. Different.
Okay, so you two have
I like it.
seen...
Yeah, I failed to spot hidden
sorry.
Loren big time. By the
Okay,
way.
so the two of you saw him, though.
Was I supposed to roll?
No, you already made your roll.
No,
No, we-
you already made it. You already made it.
Oh.
You made a hard success earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, so the
Well,
two of you
I-
see him riding back up the street from the south.
Away from us or towards us?
Towards you. Keep there.
Towards
Because
us.
he passed you both before, but
Okay.
you were both busy and kind of trapped in a conversation, and so you really couldn't do anything about it. And
And now I'm coming back.
he's coming back. It looks like he's heading... Well, you don't know exactly where he's heading.
Shall we go to Mr. Shaeder?
Okay.
Oh, you grab
Yeah.
Isabella, you find her, and...
I go like I raise
okay.
my hand
You
to
spot
get his
them
attention.
when
I
they
guess?
try to get your
Okay, now I'll
attention
see them.
easily.
So now
Yeah,
I'll see them then.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'll ride over and dismount then. I see you got here ahead of me, but Mr. Hutton, it's good to see you.
I did. Yes, I went by sea.
Good to see you as well.
That's new, Mr. Shaeder. You don't recall
What's that?
Hutton having a stutter,
Stutter.
but he definitely
Yeah.
has a very pronounced stutter now.
Also, my hands didn't shake, and I was 30 years
right,
younger.
exactly.
So the fact that
Yeah.
this doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay,
And I'm not wearing a dress with pockets.
I'm just saying
and
it's
not
new.
blue.
yeah, she's
It's
wearing
like darker.
she's wearing like
But you actually
regular
look more or
clothes.
less the same.
they do.
Yeah,
They
look
each
basically
do.
the same. But my hair is up and like wavy, curly, whatever.
In the Dreamlands, I look
Do.
more like myself 30 years ago than I look
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
And that's
Well,
saying
and
something because I'm not even 40
Hutton
yet.
probably also walks with a limp right now too.
Yes, he
Yep,
does.
He has a limp.
He has a very distinct limp that he
Oh.
didn't have in the Dreamlands.
Yeah, well, there again, doesn't surprise me.
Right.
My,
You were told this story.
yeah,
well,
about got his
also,
leg
I mean,
I
chopped
guess we're
off.
all used to it now.
Yeah, well, more importantly, remember a lot of the things that were wrong with me stopped happening in the Dreamlands.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the idea that there were problems he had that also disappeared makes perfect sense. No, this doesn't surprise me at all. But our
It is-
physical infirmities don't follow
Mhm.
us there so much because it's dream.
Right, you can control them to an extent.
That in the waking world just
So
doesn't
So-
work.
It seems
Yeah.
like we're all together now.
Uh,
Now what?
yes.
Well, I was going to secure a room, and beyond that, I have no immediate plan. My mission coming here is largely complete.
I might speak with Mr. Jimenez. He is staying at I guess friends of ours house,
But Jimenez, that's the
Yes.
fellow who
Oh yeah,
was
we met him.
stabbed, was he not?
Yes.
Oh, and yet, oh, of course, someone mentioned that you're still, of course. Be good to see him
He
again.
is fine.
Good. It's good to know that.
Yes.
There's some things I would like to discuss.
Well, let me stable my horse and find a room, and I'll be happy to take as much time as you please.
What time of day is it, Andy?
I was about to ask that.
Good question. What time of day is it? It's probably
I was feeling afternoon.
it's
or
probably
morning.
late morning or early afternoon.
Okay.
Because you probably stopped in Burl and spent the night at the hotel there last night, Alonzo, and it's about 20 miles to.
Okay.
And so if you just had a good clip, you could have gotten there in about a half a day.
Okay, that
It's
makes
an
sense.
easy ride too between the two.
Well, shall we meet for dinner, perhaps, at the inn, or unless there's another place?
That would be good. I still have some work to do today.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, pick a spot, and I will be there at whatever hour you like.
Yeah, we'll leave it up to you, Hutton.
Hey, you know the town.
6 o'clock
Where?
at the
Perfect.
inn.
The saloon.
tavern.
Okay, the saloon.
Great.
Saloon.
All right.
Okay, so
See you there.
Shaeder, you secure a room. You note the mosquito netting. There have been
Good.
quite a few mosquitoes.
I want that.
The rain clears up a little shortly after you get settled in, and then that evening the four of you can meet at the hotel and saloon. Hutton, you know there are a few private rooms that you can get in the saloon. Y'all can meet in one of those. You could have dinner, and then you could go to one of those rooms for drinks. If you want.
Okay, that works.
You know what I mean? Like they're nice sitting rooms is basically what they're very warm. It's very hot here, and there's not a lot of air circulating.
They're centralized rooms, essentially, just like off the kitchen.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just warm. It's very warm.
I know. I'd say, and it's
there's
middle
one
of
window.
July or
There's
end
only
of
one
July.
window, and somebody has thrown mosquito netting over the window.
It's
to
a
try
very
to-
humid place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's right on the
I
coast
mean,
too. Yeah.
all of this region is, but
So you can sit down with a bottle
I
of
can
whiskey and some
Important,
glasses.
important question, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Did I know about the mosquitoes before I left?
No,
Okay.
not really. You could have assumed the town's called Saltmarsh.
Marsh.
I will
Okay.
allow you to make the assumption that there might be some bad insects there if you want.
Okay, so I have brought with me then, among other things, some supply of quinine.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. But y'all meet in the sitting room, and yeah, whatever you want to discuss. We'll do a little bit of role playing, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay, as I said, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll probably reiterate with them just like what all happened after my demise in the Dreamlands. I remember vividly being run through with a sword. As I awoke, it felt like I was still being stabbed, and I'm surprised I was able to survive the waking process. I don't know what it was like for you.
If it makes you feel any better, the party responsible for stabbing you wasn't stabbed and turned. So
That gives me a little comfort. Yes.
I have the dubious pleasure of informing you that your murder has been avenged.
But I mean, I guess in theory, he really didn't kill me.
Yes, well.
yes, and properly grieved. After reading Mr. Hutton's journal, I assume I've read it
You're
all
done.
by now.
Yeah, you're totally done. It's almost been a week.
Yeah.
So, and you've had other
I-
things that you've had to deal with
Yeah,
too.
it jogged my memory, and now I remember how very tragic your death was, and how I basically forgot that we were in a dream much of the time, and so it felt so real to me that I really grieved your death. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Well, I am sorry for the grief you suffered, but perhaps I acted a little more foolhardy in the Dreamlands purely because I was aware it was a dream.
That makes sense.
I may not act so foolhardy here.
I
But
certainly hope not.
Nothing wrong with that, certainly.
but I am here after all, and not in Santo Thomas.
Huh?
My home, where my sisters live.
Oh.
So many sisters.
Oh, I see.
Well,
That's three.
we're,
Just three.
we're all of us, I suspect, a long way from home here.
Yes.
Little.
One
Not
question
that far for me.
hasn't been asked about the abrupt departure from the Dreamlands of one of your
Oh.
party.
Fernando doesn't know anything about
No,
that.
Fernando doesn't.
So,
But Alonzo
Are you
recalls it
talking
vividly.
weed?
Yeah,
You-
I was
I guess-
getting to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sorry. I'm
Okay.
So, last I saw you, Mr. Hutton, you woke yourself.
Well, last you heard from me as I woke myself. I was with the uh, bodyguard for the wizard Wilkes, and she heard you through the stone.
Isabella glares at Alonzo again.
And you woke of your own accord.
Yes, I chose to wake at that moment because it was clear that she knew I was not being fully honest with them, and I feared for my own safety.
Well, then
What-
let me,
wait,
if I
them
may,
who?
the question that I suppose remains: what do you intend to do about this man? He
Look,
wanted you to come here to do a thing for him, as I recall.
Yes, he wanted me to return to the waking world here, and
You intend to help him?
yes, intend to help him return. Because he killed himself to go there permanently.
Yes.
This
You,
world.
you said he died from casting a spell that took him to the Dreamlands. Yes.
All right.
And so he wants me to create a portal for him to return through.
Why would you want to do that?
I don't.
You wouldn't.
So you're not going to help him.
No.
You said, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said you were planning to help him. My apologies.
No.
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 He was supposed to have been buried with the spell, but it sounds like it was in his hands at his funeral, and
No.
when the body was found, and was taken by someone.
Wasn't
So-
there also a conflicting rumor that what was in his hands was his last newspaper? I'm confused, actually.
Those are one and the same.
The spell was his last newspaper? Was
He
in
put the spell into
Oh.
his last paper.
in
So-
code, right?
So a formula for this magic spell is in a newspaper.
That we don't know where it's at.
Do
Or who took it?
Do you have any suspicions, Mr. Hutton, on
Well,
who might have this paper?
There is an individual in town who was quite attached to my uncle.
Who? Oh, the widow?
The widow, yes. It's possible. Maybe it's a place to start.
So
Did
you
he
think
have any
she might
other
have it?
compatriots or people?
Oh, would you suggest finding out that information from her? Would you just simply ask her
Ooh.
that you might know how to bring him back? If she would help you out with that, or if she knows how?
I try not to be so blunt about it.
Okay.
Well, perhaps Fernando, you are quite the charmer. Maybe we all go
No,
together, and you could use some of
I
your
merely
inherent
speak only,
charm on her.
I merely speak only truths.
Well,
I might
I'm just saying.
I might say that if she is anything like Wilkes, uh, she may not be charmed by Jimenez.
Oh,
No,
oh,
hold on a sec.
because of his
Before we go
complexion.
any farther, before anyone says anything else, this spell that Wilkes needs is missing. Why not simply leave well enough alone?
Because somebody
Well,
else might use
who
it to bring him
who
back.
has a spell? Yes. What if this
'Cause
person who has the spell intends to use it?
if they know what it is, and
Yeah, they would have to
If they
understand
took
it.
it,
capable, I,
they,
I I I would at
Yeah.
least like to know where it's at.
I agree.
I imagine it is only a matter of time if they have such a thing before they figure it out what it really is.
Yes. I think we should try to stop whoever has it.
That's first. I want to try to figure out where it is,
Yes.
and then move on from that. I have already told Mr. Cunningham, who runs the paper now, to not allow anyone upstairs. 'Cause that is where he would need me, I guess, to be casting it.
Ah,
And you're sure it's not him?
Cunningham?
Yes, this Cunningham. You're sure it's not him that could have taken the newspaper and
If I
tried
remember
to.
correctly, he wasn't here at that
Cunningham,
time.
yeah, Cunningham showed up about 7 years later.
Yeah.
When after Wilkes, they couldn't find heirs or anything for Wilkes, and so after 7 years, the paper was taken control of by the town, and then they put advertisements out, and Cunningham answered an advertisement to come be
Oh, okay.
the editor of the newspaper of this town. And
Okay.
so it was years later before Cunningham ever arrived. That doesn't mean he couldn't have found it and he has it. I mean, but he was not one of the people who walked by that body when Wilkes was dead.
Okay.
That's
You do know that. You're confident
Yeah.
of that. Unless everybody in town's lying to you.
Well, and Wilkes told him that he tried to contact
He
with
did.
Cunningham and he couldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He did do that.
well then,
That's actually probably a pretty good place to leave off. As you guys
Okay.
have made plans to try to figure out at least who
Gives us
maybe
more,
has
at
it.
least a little more time to think about what to do
Yeah,
next.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think we'll end there.
Let's start with the widow.
And
I think.
yeah. We're running a little late, but very quickly, um, Alonzo, questions, comments, suggestions, criticisms, or favorite part, least favorite part, or this was mainly just kind of
yeah. No,
an
this was mostly
organizational
just
thing to kind of get everybody together in one
Just
place.
an
setting things up
in-between.
again, and
Yeah,
that's
it's an
that's
interim.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
perfect.
So no, all good. I can't remember what I was going to say, but it's
I'm
been a very
sorry.
long day. No, that's quite
Yeah.
all right. I did want to. Oh, okay. There was one thing that had less to do with this. Regency, I believe, next week.
Yes.
I will probably be on time for 8 o'clock,
Mhm.
but I do have a game again,
That's okay.
and so as you see today, I got
finish.
back just in time.
Big finish. Maybe.
Yeah,
If we all die,
probably one way or the other. I think.
bet I die. Okay.
Well, if you die, then I may have to come up with a new plan with Plan C for the next one. But that's
No.
okay. I can always do
No.
that.
Rose is possessed. My
Doesn't
wife.
bother me.
Okay.
Doesn't bother me. Anyway, I'm gonna probably bounce at this
That's
point
okay.
because it's been a long day, and I should eat
Yes.
something more than that bagel.
Okay.
That's all.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had
Kevin.
noon.
Uh,
So I will see some of you next week, and I will see.
Yes.
Oh wait, when are we resuming this?
yeah, is 2 weeks work for people for this?
The 23rd.
Yes, if that.
Right
yeah.
now,
Yeah, it
that's
should work
okay
for
by
me.
me.
That's
Okay.
the day
Again, I may-
before my birthday.
I may have a
It's-
game, in which
okay.
case I may be a little late, but
Okay. That's okay. Your
Otherwise,
character
I'm good.
doesn't want to deal with this. Find this newspaper thing anyway. You can let Loren Hutton go break into Widow Danforth's house or whatever he's planning on doing. Okay,
I
that
mean,
sounds good.
I'm,
I'll put some
you know,
information up
I'm,
on
I'm,
Discord.
I'm happy to help to an extent, but I am not here to break into people's houses. So you may have to leave me out of that part anyway.
You gotta break
Yeah.
it. You gotta do it.
Yeah, you
Okay.
You know
you got-
who's up for breaking in?
That's
Oh,
fine.
or who could help breaking in? Oh,
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Good night, Kevin. Get
Okay.
something to eat.
Yeah, good night, guys.
Kevin.
I'll see some of you next week and some of you in 2 weeks'
Yep.
time.
So
Yep.
Jimenez, favorite thing, least favorite thing, comments, questions, comments.
No, I liked
Questions,
everyone
comments,
getting back
suggestions,
together. It was nice,
criticisms.
everyone coming up with their own reasons or how. Actually, that was my favorite thing was the fact that Loren sent letters out to everyone as everyone was already coming
Yeah.
back.
I thought that was pretty funny too. Actually,
That was hilarious.
I was trying to
That's
push to
pretty
get you
awesome.
guys to go to Saltmarsh though too. So that's kind of on
Yeah.
me, and I
No,
wanted
but
to kind of make it.
it's
easier.
nice that everyone was kind of on the same page, like
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
gain the same
I
goal.
mean-
So
Alonzo, a little reluctant, I think, but
he was
I don't
playing
know.
it. He was playing it logically.
Yes, he was playing
He
it
was playing-
realistically.
Yeah,
I
he
guess
has
so.
Um,
duty.
And so I wanted to make it as easy for everybody to get there as possible. Although a long stagecoach ride would have been awesome to make Isabella riding a terrible stagecoach. But you made your
Well,
luck checks
I
and
know
you
That's
talked to
probably why
Maggie.
I didn't hear.
You found Maggie, and Maggie's the easiest, fastest way to get back and forth to Seattle or the area.
Not that it was fast.
Like I
at
said,
all.
It was fast
I am-
compared to the fucking
yeah, to the stagecoach.
Let me see
And
what
a
I wrote
lot
down.
and a lot smoother
A lot
ride, I bet
smoother.
too.
Yeah, stagecoach.
Regardless of the weather.
Right.
I am a little surprised that you didn't
Stagecoach took
fuck with
21 to 23 hours to get there. Probably.
yeah.
It's 108 miles, and they can only make a certain amount. And they did have, there are coaching stations along the way and places they can switch the horses up, but they still can only get to Burl in one day.
Mhm.
Before stopping. Actually, I think they stop at Port Angelos too. Long drives. They stop
Probably.
at Port Angelos. They stop at for the night
It's
at Burl. So
Burl.
it's 21
Angelos
hours
doesn't have a
straight, but it goes over the course of like 2.5 days to get there, and then another 2.5 days to get back. Mainly for the mail. So passengers are secondary.
there's no.
I am a
Owen
little
Ford
surprised.
Angeles.
Like I said, I am a
Hold
little
on,
surprised you
hold
didn't
that thought,
fuck.
Isabella.
You didn't
What?
fuck with Kevin with him wearing a Union uniform, going through Piccadilly's and.
They do not, dude. They're not stupid. If they gun down a man in a uniform who
Oh,
obviously
I
is supposed to be there, there's going to be more people showing up to find out what happened
Right.
to him.
No, and I'm not talking about gunning him down, but at least just messing with him a little bit.
Take him. They don't take pot shots. They're either going to kill you and rob you, or they're not.
Okay.
They're going to leave you alone, or they're going
Okay.
to make you haul bodies back to town.
Right. Right.
So
I said, mess with him just a little bit.
he got
Maybe
messed
not kill
with.
him.
He already got sent to the wrong place and went through Delmunster,
That's
which is like a
that's true,
Russian
though, too.
town in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Miss Eldridge, how about you? What were you just saying before you got interrupted?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No, you weren't. You were interrupted. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was trying to correct you because you called it Port Angelos. It's Port Angeles. There is no
Oh.
O.
I don't know. I just go by the map that I found. So, Port
Well,
Angeles.
it's misspelled on the map. Just so you know.
Let's see what I
Not
have.
that
Might have
it's
been
important,
what
really,
they called
but
it back then, though.
I don't
maybe.
know.
I don't know. The
Dialect.
O is
Port Angeles.
Incorrect.
She's no. I've got it written as Port Angeles, so that's how it's written here.
Okay.
The map is wrong, obviously. My
Yeah.
information here is this. These towns are like so sad in this area back in the 1870s. Like there's there was this whole scandal about county seat for this county between Port Angeles and New Dungeness, and the guy who wanted Port Angeles did this huge fraud thing to try to make it look like there was a lot of people there and all this other crap. And then he got found out. And then there was what happened? There was like a because the army platted it, and then the town was destroyed by a flood. And so this customs office he had built there to build him up gets washed away with all the information. It's like, the guy is an idiot. Anyway, sorry. So, questions, comments, suggestions, criticisms, favorite part, least favorite part, Miss Eldridge.
Yeah, I actually took notes this time.
Notes are always
Which
good.
if something comes up, I'll take notes. But, yeah, I liked. It was different and interesting being in the real world.
Mm-hmm. It's been a
definitely
while.
a shift in general. It feels nice to be able to be in my own time and like have things like
I agree.
the weapons I'm used to and the
People,
clothing and
normal people.
the modern stuff.
Being
for that
able
time.
to use my pistols again. Yay!
Right. Yeah. Just knowing that I can.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have my library back. Oh, I wanna share my library with the crew.
Write yourself a
at
note.
some point.
Definitely write yourself a note to that effect so you don't forget.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
will.
that'd be great.
Um,
They get to see the fragments that you have in certain books and
Maggie is so unlucky in love. What the hell?
yeah,
And
Maggie's
I really do
had it rough.
like Isabella's legit convinced that she's actually cursed, like actually magically cursed.
Then you gotta find an
I'm like, wants to help her.
anti-curse spell.
Like that's what went through her
Yeah,
mind. She
poor
was like,
Maggie.
I want to try to
Maggie's had
figure
a
out how
hard
to break
time.
this curse.
She's so
I
cute
have
too.
I have a thought on that already.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well,
What is your
But,
make a
thought?
note and tell me
Yeah.
in character.
Yeah. We haven't got to Sean yet, so I'll wait till
Okay.
after Sean
Right.
tells his.
And then the mosquito thing is scary.
Yeah, people are
And-
dying from this shit.
And why is Priscilla LaRoe important? She seems just like a random NPC that doesn't matter, but maybe she
Maybe.
matters for some
Maybe.
reason. I'm curious.
You asked her a question on the street or something about, or the two of you fell into a conversation, and
She
Miss
told me
Trudy's
about-
came up because you were looking for. I'm gonna assume what I assume was during the conversation, you were looking for. You were like, well, I'm thinking about living here for a little while, and I'm trying to find a nice place to stay, and that's how Miss Trudy's came up, and that's why she was like, don't go to Miss Trudy's. They say it's a school,
Oh.
but it is a school, but it's like a finishing,
And
not a
boarding
finishing school, but it's like a craftsman's type school for women, but it's
gives-
also a
brothel.
brothel. Yeah, at least that's
I
what this
actually
lady
forgot to write
said.
that part
Remember,
down.
you've heard this from only one source so far in town, but you can ask around about Miss Trudy's too and find out for sure.
Yeah. Or
This is
just
small,
go there and observe.
or go there. Yeah, it's a small town. Pretty much most people
Like-
know each other in this town. You can assume. There's maybe. Oh wait, let me give you guys this.
I can be like, I'm a school teacher. Do you need a teacher? I'm
Yeah,
a teacher.
you can do that. Saltmarsh has a population of about 1,000 people. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's a good amount, but still, people's faces if you live here for a few months or a year.
I say that's half the size of the town I'm living
Is that
in.
half the size of Edgerton? Yeah, everybody knows everybody
Yeah.
in Edgerton, it seems like.
Exactly.
If you live there.
Yep.
So, yeah, people know each other. People talk about each other. And that kind of thing. So, anything else there? Miss
That's it.
Eldridge? How about Mr.
Good stuff.
Hutton?
Um,
Questions, comments, suggestions, favorite thing, least favorite thing, criticisms. What
yeah,
did
I like
do
that we were
wrong?
all able to get back together pretty quickly.
Well, I forced it, so.
Yeah, but I still liked it.
Okay.
What's your
Um,
job?
It just
It makes it easier for us to just continue playing as
Yeah.
a whole.
That's why I cut you off from being like, I
Yeah.
read the journal the next day so we can discuss it. And it's like, well, then Kevin's been sitting around for like 45 minutes
Right.
disconnected. So I just was like, nope. That's why I said you can't do it. You can't. His handwriting's too bad. You got to wait a
I'm
week
hating-
until
I'm-
Kevin gets here, and then we can all be
I
together.
did not realize what you were doing
That's
in
okay.
the moment
That's
until
okay.
you said why.
You're playing it realistically, and that's fine. And I'm just trying to make sure everybody is playing, and that's fine too. So
Gotcha.
nobody's in the wrong. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry, I just totally
Yeah,
interrupted you.
I'm
Wake up.
hating myself for giving this character a stutter because now I have to go back to it.
Me too. You think
You're
it's
good at
bad
it, though.
talking in a stutter? I have to fucking write it in a stutter. You douche.
It's very convincing. Like you're good at it.
I'm gonna make you get struck by lightning, and you don't stutter anymore. Well, you're dead, but you know.
But
I like Loren Hutton though. I don't want him to die.
I don't want him to go crazy. At least
You
wondered
guys,
though if there was something that he could do. I thought you said that we could always go back to the Dreamlands to work on something, and if he could work on his stutter in the Dreamlands, if he could cure himself of his stutter.
no, because you cure yourself of your stutter in the Dreamlands by just not stuttering anymore mentally and controlling
Right.
yourself that way. But you can't do
No,
that in the
I-
waking world
I
using
have an
your dream
idea of how
ability.
he can cure
But it
his
can't
stutter.
transfer?
Well, if you have an idea, float it at some point, and we'll see what happens.
Well, no, it's because it's a psychological thing.
Yeah,
It is. Yeah.
and it's involving his dad
Ooh.
essentially.
Confronting your father or another fatherish figure. Got to punch the Wizard
idea.
Wilkes right in the face.
Right in the dick.
If you
That,
want.
that'll work.
Anyway,
Get
what
it.
else, Sean? We keep interrupting you.
Yeah.
If there's anything else.
What is it? No, I enjoyed the night. It was good.
It was very laid back, and it wasn't meant to be like
Yeah.
a story thing. It was just meant to
Yeah.
get everybody together and kind of like
I like
established.
that Andy has no clue what I'm thinking of doing.
I don't have any clue. If you want to tell me, it'll help me to prepare. But if you don't want to tell
Yeah.
me, then I get to be surprised. So it's win-win for me.
Yeah.
And I know what the Wizard Wilkes is trying to do, and how he's trying to do it, and yeah. Here's something I thought of that I don't know if I want to tell you guys about or not. But if you went up there and slept in that room, you could have conversations with him still.
You mentioned that. Yeah, you mentioned that
And,
in the game if that was possible.
What if you turn him into like your mythos advisor or your magic advisor on a promise that maybe I'll try to get you out. I'm looking for this stuff, and I might help you, but you got to help me
You
first.
might have to roll fast talk a lot.
Yes, you would definitely have to roll fast talk if you have no intention of letting him loose. But be weird.
Fernando.
It like you have a well, not necessarily evil, but certainly probably not mentally stable.
Ul-
Like
Ulterior motives, but yeah.
yeah, well, ulterior motives guy who has the information you might need on some
Yep.
things. Like, hey, what is this Bigfoot
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that I saw that's got four
Yeah.
arms? Or hey, what are these serpent people? Or whatever. And don't forget also another thing that you can use, which y'all don't have yet, but Miss Eldridge does. You can use Mythos tomes to research. Each tome has a percentage chance of having answers in it. If you're like, we want to know about the deep ones from earlier in the campaign, there might be information in one of the tomes about
Good
it that
thing
you
I
can
brought
find.
my library.
I'm glad you did, because that leaving it, well, traveling with really rare old books can be bad for the books, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's nice to have some kind of potential information.
I
So
felt
anyway,
like it
but
was
anyway,
that-
those are
that- that
those
may
are
be
all my
not-
thoughts.
That may be nice, but Fernando is not that kind of character in this campaign.
No, Fernando doesn't want
So,
anything
yeah.
to do with the craziness. He just wants
Yep.
to shoot things.
If it
Well,
can
we're-
bleed, it can be killed.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
And Sean.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had fun. Couple rough spots where I was just like, and then Kevin not moving as fast as I wanted him to, I guess, to get here.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the timing was bad too. You have to. I figured out the stage route and all that stuff. You have to leave pretty early Tuesday morning. The stage has to leave Tuesday morning in order to get to Saltmarsh at noon on Wednesday, and we've established
That it
Or
arrives at
Monday
noon
morning?
on Wednesday.
It arrives at noon on Wednesday. So
Yeah.
maybe it's Monday
Yeah.
morning it had to leave. Either way, you guys were going to miss it. No, it does leave on Monday. I gave you wrong information, so I'm retroing that. It leaves on Monday. You guys woke up on Tuesday. So even if the only
no,
way...
you said it. You said
Did I
it
say
had
Monday?
left already.
Did I
You
say
said
Monday?
it had left. You said it
Okay,
had
okay,
left
okay.
already, regardless.
Okay. So it leaves on Monday, and it takes 2.5 days to get there Wednesday noon, and then goes immediately back another 2.5 days. So the rest of Wednesday, Thursday, and then it arrives
Say,
back on
I'm
Friday
pretty.
with mail and
I'm
stuff.
pretty sure. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you
I
said
might
that.
have messed.
In all
I thought I
honesty.
messed it up, but it definitely has to leave on Monday to get there by. And I've established in the game from the beginning that it usually arrives
It
around
arrives.
noon
Yep.
on Wednesdays, and that works really well for the paper. The paper comes out every Thursday. I might actually do a write up. Well, maybe not. I don't know yet. I used to. There
That is
are
something That is kind of something I've missed though from going into the Dreamlands was
the
the Saltmarsh Gazette.
Yeah. If you want to look in Saltmarsh Gazette at some
Yeah.
point, Isabella, I used to. We were running a game that was like daily. Like each day was detailed. Okay,
Oh.
because well, we skipped a few. Sometimes there were a few little jumps, but for the most part, it's like, what do you do tomorrow? What do you do the next day? And so every week of game time, I would do a front page of the Saltmarsh Gazette that they
I'm
could
looking.
look at, and there were some other leads to other things that they could have investigated, and
Hmm.
So
there.
this is kind of like a newspaper version of what happened in the game, basically.
Sometimes,
Or-
yes, sometimes, but
Or
other
it
things
was
were
ju-
just like
really, it
what?
was just a clue.
Sometimes they were
more
clues.
just a,
News.
it was
There's
just a big
stories
clue.
about like, oh, we found this little weird squatter village out in the woods, and we went up to say hello, and they started shooting at us, and we ran away. That's one of the stories that is in there.
Stories
Um,
about
Oh,
Adam.
Cool.
Stories
That's
about
great.
Adam. Oh, Adam, yeah, Adam, who is apparently somebody with big feet that comes into town and steals things from.
It's a Bigfoot.
That's what Hutton was thinking. That's kind of lightened up
Yeah.
lately, but
Yeah.
there's still been Adam stories. You guys haven't done any kind of real searching for Adam yet.
Oh yeah, Bigfoot was early on kind of a bigger thing for, I think it was for Hutton,
It was.
right? In the
Yeah.
library and stuff.
That's why he
Yep,
came
yep.
west.
Yep. And so, but then there's other things like you stay off the Pickers Gill's land or we'll shoot your ass dead is in every newspaper because they take out an ad every week that basically warns people off their
Wow.
property. And so those are available, and it's just the front page. And a lot of stories will say continued on page whatever, and there's no continuation of it because all the pertinent
I'm gonna read
information's out
those
there.
for sure. They look fun.
It's cool, though.
They were a lot of work. They're still a lot of work.
I
But
know they're a
they-
lot of work for you, but they're
I had
awesome.
fun. Yeah, they were
They
really
are.
nice. I printed them out on newsprint paper. Here they are.
I guess what I'm saying is
It's
I
like
appreciate the
publishing.
work that you put into them,
That's
Andy.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so
Thank
nice.
you. I appreciate that. I had fun
Good
making them.
job.
And a
It's
lot of them were
lovely.
clues about what was some of the things that were coming up. Sometimes were in there, like the
Yep.
fishing boat that went missing.
You mentioned the priest in the
Yeah, the priest. When
swamp.
the priest showed up, there was anytime new people come to town, there's an article in the paper. I don't know if I'm going to get one for Miss Eldridge or not. I don't know
I
if I'm going to
think-
do one for that week or not yet, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
I
We'll
think
see. I
they're-
might.
I think
Is it
their
that
arrival, and in which the time period the paper would come out would not work to
No.
put it in the next one.
Right.
Well, to put it in the current one, maybe the following one.
Well,
but...
he's a week behind her though. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Seems not
her
very-
Oh,
arrival.
right.
her
Right.
arrival
Her,
was on a-
her arrival would.
Her
possibly
arrival was
show
on a
up in the one-
Wednesday, but it was Wednesday in the evening, and
Yeah.
they go.
I
To,
just don't feel like anything notable happened yet.
That it's a community paper. It's some community papers
Yeah.
might not have a whole lot of
Yeah.
notable
I
information.
mean,
in
stuff happened during that week that you were there, but it might not have
Right.
been anything. I mean, there was a death, so an
It's
obituary is
local
definitely going to
news.
show up. And
It's
sometimes,
all
and
local.
all of his news that's not local, like you're going to see some stories about the Confederacy and stuff in there, is months out of date because he finally just got
Right.
it. And so
Yeah.
he puts it in the paper, and it's like, this happened on this date because it's this important stuff. There's a couple ads in there, which were kind of fun and kind of a pain in the ass to make. But yeah, you arrived
It
Wednesday
makes it-
night,
It does make it
so
more
you definitely
real,
didn't
though.
get into the next day's paper because it's all set up by then, and it's a morning paper.
Yeah.
They get it done, so it's ready to go out at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Then the following it could actually end up in the following week because Alonzo showed up on a Tuesday. So there would definitely. So somebody has interviewed you. Hutton might have interviewed you for the paper. It's usually just a short
Oh,
blurb, a couple paragraphs, because they just don't have room. But it would say
okay.
like why you she came on Maggie Connor's boat. And if Hutton interviewed you, why are you here?
Yeah,
Why?
that's because
But
I don't want to say stuff about the
no, yeah. What
Dreamlands,
would you say?
so
Why? What reason would you give Hutton or Cunningham? He might have interviewed you. But if Hutton knew you, Cunningham probably would
something to
have
do
had
with
you.
art. I don't know.
Something to do with art. Can we
I don't
quote you
know.
on the?
I'll have to think about that. I wasn't even sure what to tell Maggie because I hadn't thought of like an excuse for knowing them
Yeah,
that
$10.
wasn't
That
the
was enough.
truth.
That's all excuse Maggie needed to bring you. She never
I
really
feel like I want to
pressed
think of
you.
something better though.
Yeah, you can.
Can I
But
get back to you on that?
yeah, but do it soon because if I do put a paper
Okay.
together for the next Thursday, which would be the 2nd of August, um, yeah, because I might. I think I'll have time actually.
Okay.
All right.
I'll
Anyway,
just
sorry. Sean, were you done? Let's finish the stream.
Yeah, I was.
Sorry, everybody. I got so distracted. So we're gonna head out.
No
Thanks
worries.
for watching, everybody. I really appreciate anybody who came by. It says we got 2 viewers. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I don't know how many we've had.
One
We'll
of them.
find out later. So, thanks for coming. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Wait, let me find the button.
Bye.
Bye.